Don't you worry, ma.
Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection. This is your host, Minett Lawrence, and with me, of course, Pastor Percival Palmer. Good morning to those who have joined us. As always, we are so happy that you make the time at this early hour of the day to start your day with us and to follow us throughout the 4 hours that we spend with you. You know that from the inception, we make the commitment to give you the very best of our ideas or reasoning, and to share with you the principles which we believe are at the foundation of righteous living. A platform for prosperity is what we try to build here. So thank you very much for participating in this. We know that it is a larger than life venture, and we have every expectation that through your participation it will be fruitful. So good morning, Pastor Percival.
Good morning. You were
All right,
waxing. You were waxing lyrical a while ago.
You go and prepare your lyrics. Let me greet the crew.
Lyrics.
Yeah, morning, Andre, and to the producer man. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you for the commitment that you make to this little. Well, it's not a little.
It's
what
no
is it?
longer a little thing.
Big project. The big project, Jamaica. What
yes.
you used to call it again? Project Jamaica.
Project Jamaica.
Project Jamaica.
All
right,
and it still remains a project.
You're ready with your lyrics?
Well, no, I am continuing where we left off yesterday out of Isaiah. The need to wait and to continue to trust and not to become weary in well-doing. So even as we continue to speak about the 1660, one of the things that really has captured my attention is the fact that persons around the world in different situations, they have a vision in mind, they continue to work at it even though they're not seeing visible results at that point in time. But then it struck me as we think about what is happening in our nation, what is happening with the things that don't seem to be breaking, we have to continue to chip away. And it's like when you do that, you're chipping away at the foundation of things that are not good for us, the crime and violence. Violence, yes, the crime and violence.
I
yes,
love it,
yes. The corruption.
We're getting rid of that lisp.
Yes, the corruption that is there. And so we will continue to push the what we call it, the envelope, to see where we need to go as a people, as a nation. And I continue as we do. First of all, I urge that petitions, prayers, intercessions, and thanksgiving be offered for everyone. So that's why we pray on this program, because we believe that our prayers avail much. The righteous urgent,
The fervent prayer of the righteous
avails much. But also, and that is from 1 Timothy 2, there's another part that says that we must also pray for our leaders, which is an important thing. And we honor them, but we also speak truth to leaders, for our kings and all of those in authority, the Prime Minister, Governor General, President, so that we may lead tranquil and quiet lives in all godliness and dignity. So we pray for our leaders, we speak truth to them, and we say, you lead on behalf of God, not you lead on behalf of God, who is the ultimate authority. So you need to remember that at some point in time you're going to be called to book. And so we show them what needs to be done, how they need to be living. And my favorite verse, as everybody will know, is Psalms 89:14, that God's throne is built upon righteousness and justice, and truth and mercy go before him. So we encourage our leaders to lead in righteousness with justice. But we are also saying, as a people, we pray for them and we respect that they are delegated authority, but delegated authority ultimate reports to the ultimate authority, which is God. So we continue to do that. And then,
you know, he's making it up as he goes along.
No, and then, Martin Luther King has this very famous quotation. Junior, he speaks about love. And I'll share it with you. We didn't do any quotations yesterday, but he speaks to us about love and the importance of love in all of the things that we do. All of the things that we do, and all of the things that we say. Yeah. Go ahead, Minett. Where I found the quotation.
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm finding the
all right,
quotation.
I think I need to fill the air until you're ready to resume.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about what's on the agenda for this morning. We had promised to speak with you on how to go about establishing your own community-based project activity.
CBO. Yeah.
And so we're going to do that this morning. Additionally, we will give some more information on our 1660 project. I have documented what I need to share with you. Those are the two big ticket items. How to create your own
CBO.
CBO or NGO, which is non-governmental organization or community-based organization. Pretty much
we're talking about community.
one and the same. And then,
Yeah, right.
it is tomorrow that we're gonna speak to Floyd. So we'll shift into that later in the day. You found your quotation?
Yes,
Because I don't want to go too far and
it
have
says
to
this. Martin Luther King
recalibrate.
Jr. says, "Power without love is reckless and abusive." So you have power without love; it is reckless and abusive. And love without power is sentimental and anemic. Power at its best is love implementing the demands of justice, and justice at its best is power correcting everything that stands against love. Martin Luther King Jr. Let me repeat that. Power without love is reckless and abusive. And love without power is sentimental and anemic. Power at its best is love implementing the demands of justice. And justice at its best is power correcting everything that stands against love. We often say, and there's a lot of songs that speak about love, but what we need to do is to balance it out. A lot of us have power and we see it all the time, true? And we see what is happening in Canada in terms of the protests. You have the power, but the people are trying to speak to you as leader and saying, can you listen to us? Can you please listen to what we are saying? We're not against the vaccination, but we're against the mandates that have restricted us so much, and there seems to be no end in sight. And what happens is the Prime Minister implements the Emergency Act, which was in the 70s when somebody was killed and his father had previously brought it into play. And love without power is sentimental and anemic. Power at its best is love implementing the demands of justice, and justice at its best is power correcting everything that stands against love. So they need to be balanced out in terms of how we deal with each other.
Justice at its best is
power correcting everything that stands against love.
That's justice.
Yes, yeah.
Power correcting injustice.
Right. So love is about justice. Can you imagine that?
Or justice is about love.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
Yeah. Justice is about love. Loving the neighbor as yourself.
All right, we contemplate it while we take our break.
We'll be right back.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service in... For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales, shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station.
Moving.
My station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Bess FM, keep listening.
We're committed to reducing the impact of disasters occurring in Jamaica. We're ever ready to assist you before, during, and after a disaster. But everybody have a role to play, so make we work together and follow the plan. Whether rich or poor or where you come from, hurricanes affect everyone, so be prepared. Prevention is better than cure. Be prepared. Listen to ADPEM.
A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
Live the life. Respect the music. And keep your radio locked in. Best 100 FM.
Ready. Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
Just pay your dues, my friend. Take my medical news. Oh, doctor, come to meet my patient. Oh, doctor, come to meet my patient. Oh, doctor.
Veg Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veg Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back to the Morning Connection. Thank you for staying with us. We're going to just kind of dive right in at this point because it's a lot of material to cover, and we want to keep you engaged. All right. So as you know, let me see which day we did this. I certainly remember very much receiving the call from our listener in that community in St. Elizabeth Trial. Yes, it was on the 15th of February. Yes, otherwise called last week Tuesday. Yes. We had gone into the book of Exodus, looking at the template for the administration of justice, and so interesting that Pastor Percival chose a quotation from Martin Luther King Jr. That speaks to the connection between the exercise of power and the administration of justice. The template we had chosen came out of Exodus chapter 18, and it really was anchored in that exchange, the interaction between Moses and his father-in-law Jethro, who gave him some advice on how to go about setting up the court system for the people in the wilderness. And we saw where absolutely the administration of justice. Now, understand that at the heart of the justice system is the need to mediate between disputing parties on every conceivable thing that could cause neighbor to rise up against neighbor, or business to have an issue with another business, or between customers and businesses. You can imagine. So the administration of justice is not just about, the state against a criminal offender. and wanting to ensure that persons are taken out of society to prevent further damage. It's also about resolving everyday issues that arise between citizens. And then on the other side, there is the business of administering the distribution of state resources so that citizens feel that they have equal access, receive fair treatment, and are experiencing the respect and the care and commitment. Pastor spoke about love being the tempering influence on the exercise of power. So the administration of justice cuts across everything. We moved from that into looking at the basics of recapturing your community. Now, why do we say recapture? Communities emerge out of man's very human and social desire to be connected to one another in their daily living.
Just God-given.
And that, as Pastor is whispering to me, is
God-given. Yes, we are created as social beings.
Absolutely. And there is every expectation that we must find a way to exist in harmony. Absolutely. And being fruitful together. In fact, we cannot multiply by ourselves.
That opens up another.
Though many have tried.
Yeah.
Still, yes, the Dominion mandate requires cooperation. So how do you recapture your communities? At the heart of this effort is, of course, the coming together of persons around a common cause. And so we had long promised to speak with you on how you set up your community-based organization. I'm not going to begin in a legalistic way, though I am tempted to just state some of the structures that you have to become familiar with. You can use a cooperative. We all know what that is because we've been around them. They're one of the earliest legal structures that were proposed to allow emancipated black people to combine around commercial interests, so to speak. But the co-op, oddly enough, though it is meant to lay the foundation for fruitfulness, is really regarded as it's a not-for-profit. It's the social side of partnership. You can establish a trust, meaning you put aside monies under a system of governance which allows the beneficiaries of the trust to have access to these monies. You could set up a company. A company can be limited by shares or guarantee, but that is definitely so that you can invite shareholders who will earn dividends, or the profit of the company's activities will be distributed across its members. Or you can just have an informal, unincorporated entity which is fluid and flexible and is driven by personality, meaning you, the mover and shaker in your community, just bring your friends and company on your veranda every so often, and you make decisions together, and you have some semblance of management team that executes the decisions. But such an informal organization does not have longevity, is entirely dependent on sometimes the patronage or the goodwill of the person who has brought it into existence. And when that person dies, migrates, or falls ill, the organization most times will just disappear. Naturally, that's not the recommended way to go, because we are advocating generational wealth and progress and planning. So we prefer, if when you establish your organization, you do so with a structure that can continue when you step away from the podium. Right, Pastor?
That's a very important thing. And interesting, as you've mentioned, co-op, it is something that Israel uses in terms of agricultural co-op
the kibbutz,
to really move their flourishing and prosperity
and
forward. Transform lands that were desert into just you look and say That was a desert before. So
Yeah.
it's an important thing.
Now, I'm going to say something that is fairly radical for me, and when you hear it, you will know why. I typically advocate that we avoid embedding the government into our planning because I am not one who believes that in order for things to move, government has to be involved. But here is the radical statement. We are breaking the cycle of African, or what do I put it now? Let me be more direct. We are breaking the cycle of the descendants of slaves choosing deliberately to turn their back on the official system, the Babylon system, the oppressor's system, and seeking to create our own private economy, virtual economy, the hustling approach to things. We've got to break that cycle. I believe one of the reasons there is such great mistrust between citizen and government, aside from the corruption, but one of the reasons there is such great mistrust is because we are still paying homage to that great divide between slave and owner, between the oppressed and the oppressor. We are continuing to occupy the role of oppressed and victims when we are in fact in charge of our own nation, our own destiny, our own future. We have stayed in a role that was cast for us centuries ago, and which we have had every right to step out of it. So it is the whole emancipate yourself from mental slavery. But I think one of the ways that condition of victimhood persists is by our constantly regarding government either as the great father who should provide for us or as the great oppressor who we must avoid him.
There's a middle ground?
Yeah. I wouldn't even say middle ground because it's not I'm not looking for a mediated resolution. I'm looking for a takeover. We must take it over because it is ours. We must take control, possess the mountain. We started off with that. We are contenting ourselves with voting every 5 years, or just a single act of adult suffrage that is not nearly enough to accomplish what we're talking about. So we're starting small by first taking over our communities
and taking responsibility for the things that happen in terms of food, education,
security, health.
Yeah, those things.
The big ticket items. So, that said, as I speak on these issues, you are going to hear me refer to the government, the institutions, the structures, the money that has been laid up to cover these things, which we have so far failed to do at the community level.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm making that speech. This is not going to succeed unless we take from the pool of resources what is earmarked to do this very work.
So you're talking about the government to government.
Absolutely. Because
like like EU and World Bank.
Oh yeah, you see, I'm on the page.
The
European Union has a poverty reduction program that has been in place for a while. The JSIF, Jamaica Social Investment Fund, manages those monies, and I would say the money is sitting there, but the communities are not stepping into the position and to take it. We talk about reparation a lot, and we tend to look at it in a very narrow way. I'm saying narrow, perhaps that is an understatement, but in my view, we look at reparation through the narrow lens of a check. That's how I'm looking at it. Whereas those who have the guilty conscience know that they need to make the resources available to build these societies which have been severely depleted by the by slavery, the imperial acts of imperialism that interfered with the growth and the prosperity of continents, of nations. And so they, in their guilty conscience, have been making provisions to build these communities and these countries, and they make grant funding available through different mechanisms, but these funds are administered at the governmental level, so you cannot have access to it unless you are prepared to engage with the government on a massive scale.
No, but so the having been involved with many of these projects and so on, the greatest thing I believe that these projects under JCF have had different ones that were done is the residual skill set that is left in the community. But one of the challenges has been, people come in and they say, oh, this is what needs to be done, but hardly ever, and this is one of the recommendations I keep making, before you go into planning, you need to engage the community in a very serious way to ask them what it is that you think that you need, because if before you even roll out the project you get community buy-in, then it will be sustained. If that does not happen, then you put in the money and then you go back a year after you say, ooh, where's the work we done? And one of the things I've observed, the same on PRP, poverty reduction, it spoke about causing the community itself to feel good about themselves in terms of proper waste disposal.
Can we do it this way?
So
let me go through the mission of the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, then talk about the poverty, use their information to say what they're doing, and then you can provide the context.
Just the context in terms as we do 1660.
But I need to say what it is first.
Yeah, communities. The point I was making, that communities need to own and say it is ours before you start doing anything. Because the 1660s, we have a problem. We are mobilizing ourselves to solve it, and then you pull in the people. The resources are. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah. Okay. So the Jamaica Social Investment Fund is the primary institution with which you will work as you build out your NGOs and or CBO. Pastor is making the point that you need to initiate or originate the idea before you can go to the fund.
Yeah.
That's a given.
Yeah.
But some of you are already sitting on ideas, and for those who have already indicated their interest in being a part of this 1660, you know already what you want to do. So I'm just going to speak generally now on the resources that are available outside of what the Morning Connection will do with you. The main institution is the Jamaica Social Investment Fund. Their mission is to mobilize resources and channel these to the community-based socio-economic infrastructure and social services projects. Through a national partnership between central and local government, communities, and private and public organizations, the Jamaica Social Investment Fund addresses the immediate demands of communities in a manner they say that is quick, efficient, effective, transparent, and non-partisan. That fund has been in operation in Jamaica for a few decades now, and I believe you go around the island, you'll see some signage that says, that this project was funded by the JSIF. It has done infrastructure work on roads. So even that community in that was on the front page yesterday, Stock Farm Road, that community can come together, look at the infrastructure that is struggling or that is lacking, and they can, outside of what's going on with their MP, they can initiate a project that will restore some semblance of order to their community. They don't really have to be pressing the MP. The community itself can advocate for its own renewal. In fulfilling its mandate, JSIF facilitates the empowerment of communities and assists in building national capacity to effectively implement community-based programs aimed at social development. That is directly to your point, the Pastor, that when a project is well executed, the residual, the capacity that has been built up in the community remains as a viable community asset to push you into doing more things and more things, and to do it with a greater level of excellence. One of the I guess the funding arrangements that they have has to do with a European funded initiative, which is the poverty reduction. Let me find it. That's the one that I was looking at.
ERP.
Poverty reduction program. This is funded by the European Union. Let's remember who the European Union is. So, the Spanish, who once colonized Jamaica, member of the European Union, France, Belgium, all of those colonial powers that participated in the slave trade. Well, England was a part of it. They have they did Brexit, but England was a part of it. And out of the European Union, 12.54 million euros in grant funding has been provided, and that program started in November 2014. It should have ended in November 2018, but I believe that it continues today because the funds were not exhausted.
And not used in the way, because just intimate knowledge of some of these programs, having participated in some of them, you just have to be so careful, because some people, and this is why mindsets have to change, they do summer camps and things, and I remember chairing one of them, and I says, some of it is grant, but some of it is loan funding. You know that, right? That JSF has. So when you're making the investment, most people think it's free money. It is not free money. Most of it is not. This one, though, it is grant, but in other instances, like government has had to borrow money, had an idea, and work with it. Yeah.
All right. Let's teach them first. Because the funding of your project has a structure. There's a certain percentage that is loan, a certain percentage that is sweat equity, and a certain percentage that is grant funding. And we're going to go back to the business of ownership. There's nothing for free. If you're going into building something for your community, you must invest in it. There is no system under which you sit and it fall into your lap. I don't know what. So
some people have that mindset.
So you're touching an important point, but we have to come back to it, because first we need to let the communities know that there are partners out there who have put something in place that you need to access. One of the requirements to access it is that you've got to have some skin in the game.
You always have. They ask you always for community. What is the community contribution?
You must have skin in the game. So that's a given. The guiding principle of this poverty reduction program is to contribute to the implementation of the Government of Jamaica's Community Renewal Program. This is one of our 2030 objectives. I mean, everybody knows that the government has signed up to some we have a Jamaica goal. Vision 2030 development plan. And those objectives are in line with the Sustainable Development Goals, the 17 goals that we've talked about on this program, which come out of the United Nations overall objective to see that the world prospers together at a particular pace. So there again, we're not alone in this, because we are keeping step with the rest of the world, or we're seeking to keep step with the rest of the world. So our Vision 2030 requires us to reduce poverty in communities and to create what is described as the community renewal, participate in a community renewal program. And the partners in that, a funding partner is the European Union. The community renewal program is designed to serve as the platform for service delivery to enhance social transformation, strengthen governance, and reduce crime and violence in volatile and vulnerable communities. So those of you who are looking at your communities under siege by gunmen and other, unpleasant actors, there are programs which can help you to build out a renewal process for your community. The renewal programs components focus on social transformation, safety and justice, socioeconomic development, and youth development. Local communities are responsible for project implementation in partnership with the non-state actors and with technical support from relevant national agencies, all in line with some international commitments and agreements that Jamaica is party to. So, you looking at your community, seeing the condition of it, you are not left at the mercy of your councillor or your member of parliament. There are things and resources available to you to take charge of your community and make that transformation. I'm saying on your own, but led by members of the community.
And that is an important point. As you say that, in terms of persons taking responsibility for their communities, using the resources that are there, but they do it in collaboration with the leaders in the communities, because leadership is important. And sad to say that in recent times, and we just have to guard against it, that the priorities are not driven by what the community needs are in some of these. It is what the MP is saying at this point in time, and that leads it. That is why I am advocating for a shift in terms of mindset and how we get things done, because I've seen it, if it's the MP say it, all right, MP say it, but after that project finished, the people don't take ownership of it. You have this investment in this community center. If the people don't feel it is theirs, they're not going to protect it, watch over it, and so on. So that initial component, you spoke about renewal, that it's about renewal. You have to help to renew people's minds and people's mindsets and habits and so on in regards to whatever project they come up with, it is sustainable. That they will say to you, if you talk to the people at JCF and so on, that is one of the challenges that they have.
So let's you've had some experience in the field. I've had less than you, but what are the kinds of projects that would fall under the poverty reduction or the community renewal umbrella?
Okay.
Just to stimulate the thought process for those who are thinking, I know my community look away, but what can I do?
They have invested in terms of rehabilitation of social spaces, in terms of play areas. They have invested in terms of...
So, Miss Elaine, who want a park for the children to play, if you identify an area, even if it is not yet, you can move. Even if the community don't own it or government don't own it or whatever, it's a private sector, or somebody who have an old house on land that you can be torn down, you can start, and your objective can be to build out a recreation area
for the young
and
people.
You can find partnership with that. I just got was that a break signal or a stretch and a yawn? It's both. All right, we got to take a break at this point, but while we are on our break, please apply your imagination to what it is that can be done in your community. So for poverty reduction, because we would help you to initiate a project in that area.
We'll be right back.
Crises such as the COVID-19 pandemic usually cause many persons to panic. But entrepreneurs view these times as a blessing for the numerous business opportunities that can arise. That's where we turn our attention today. As Corporate Communications Manager at the Jamaica Business Development Corporation, JBDC, Suzette Campbell gives us the 411 on the latest business trends in Jamaica.
There are industries that boomed since COVID-19, such as logistics and distribution. People were stuck at home and needed to get their purchases delivered to them, and that industry skyrocketed. Industries such as health grew since COVID-19 and so on. Outsourcing, financing, renewable energy, and so on.
The increased use of digital tools to do business also made it possible for entrepreneurs who had challenges securing a brick-and-mortar location to set up shop online.
Remote entrepreneurship was also another trend. A lot of people who wanted to enter business pre-COVID would have been bogged down with the thought of overheads associated with a building or an office and so on. And COVID-19 has taught us that sometimes we don't necessarily need to be in the same place on a daily basis in order to operate effectively. And that has happened in the workplace, public and private sector, and the entrepreneurs have not been left out of that trend. So remote entrepreneurship is actually a thing now.
So, from setting up shop online, we move to automated systems. This simply means the increased use of digital tools to complete tasks that would have been done by an actual person. This has created many opportunities for software developers to design specific tools for business owners.
People ought to be looking at automating systems in their businesses, such as accounting, employee management, and customer support. You have all sorts of applications out there that are very essential and effective in achieving those goals via automation.
Another business trend in Jamaica is renewable energy and agriculture, also known as the green economy. The agriculture sector is generating a buzz, with new and innovative solutions being developed by young Jamaicans to solve long-standing problems.
Farming is taking a new spin. There is a new phase of farming these days, a new phase of agriculture, where young people, it's no longer about the fork and the hoe and so on. They're coming up with innovative and modern means to farm in a big way and to make money. And they are seeing agriculture as a business. And also fisheries, the blue economy, and so on. So they're all intertwined, and the more you look at it, the more you see how all those three economies complement each other, the orange, the blue, and the green, and it is beautiful.
Social business is also another trend in Jamaica, with young entrepreneurs wanting to make a difference in their community.
You know, young people tend to see the world as their oyster, and they want to go out there and conquer, and they want to make a difference. And so for them, it's not just about the money, it's about making an impact, a positive impact on society, a positive impact on the environment. And so it comes as no surprise that in 2018, when the government of Jamaica reviewed the MSME and entrepreneurship policy, they did add social entrepreneurship as one of its key focus areas.
Corporate Communications Manager at Jamaica Business Development Corporation, JBDC, Suzette Campbell. So, if you're looking for startup opportunities in Jamaica, keep these trends in mind. If you need assistance in turning your business idea into reality, call the JBDC at 876-928-51615 or visit www.jbdc.net.
Rio Grande to the south coast. Hotel workers and man we're off boat. This a for the craft vendors, red cap porters and transportation at airport. Jamaica tourism pension plan, building towards the future for tourism workers across the island. Retirement benefits to contributions. Every worker in the industry, permanent self-employed contract. For your service you deserve security. Yes you do. Tourism workers pension plan, build a bright future. Yes you can. Tourism workers pension plan, workers invest through contributions. All tourism workers, age 80 to 59. Tourism workers pension plan.
Start making your contributions for a brighter future.
For further information, visit mot.gov.jm or call 876-920-4926-30.
A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station.
Moving.
This is my station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Bess FM, keep listening.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on the Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess 100 FM.
Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
Just pay your dues, my friend. Take my medical news. Oh, doctor, come to meet my patient. Oh, doctor, come to meet my patient. Oh, doctor.
Live the life. Respect the music. And keep your radio locked in.
The Best 100 FM.
Make me your radio and turn me up when you feel low. This melody was meant for you. So sing along to my stereo.
Hey, my listening crew. This is your late afternoon companion to Shikalu on your 100 FM dial. Make sure you tune in and turn up every Tuesdays from 5 until 7 p.m. for OTAWTL. That is on the ear with me, yours truly. A program that will leave you inspired, entertained, and informed. With the credit giveaways each week. Street Link, where we go in the streets to find out from the people what is hot and what is not, and so much more. And guess what? You can now voice your birthday shout-outs on our WhatsApp line at 876-538-9442, and we'll play them live on air. So what are you waiting for? Turn up Tuesdays from 5 to 7 p.m. right here on Best 100 FM, the station that is sizzling every day.
Veg Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Haggard Park Road. Veg Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning, welcome back. All right, so not a major recap because we have to be efficient in our use of time. Just to remind you that we've been talking about the main government institute because we have to be efficient in our use of time. Just to remind you that we've been talking about the main government institution that would support your socio-economic community-based project. And this is the Jamaica Social Investment Fund. It is an organization with which Pastor is very familiar. How familiar he is, I've just been learning more as we talk during the break. So the Morning Connections commitment to help to organize what we're doing for the 1660 will benefit greatly from the actual experience that sits at the table. But I'm going to shift because, first I need to say that rural communities are also included in the poverty reduction, socioeconomic focus. A lot of times we think that these things are for the city folk. No, any community anywhere in Jamaica that has the need to fix certain vulnerabilities that limits the growth of the community, you qualify.
And with it, and what the JSIF did, there are certain communities that they target across the island.
Yes, because volatile and vulnerable communities, those that are notoriously so, will make it to the top of the list.
But I want to show some as you do that. They have found though that the projects that are rural based have greater success than the ones in urban areas.
You're just trying to stroke my country girl ego.
No, it's not that. Seriously.
No, country people tend to be a lot more focused and organized. Maybe it's it's all that fresh air.
Yeah. We find the source of it.
All right, but I'm gonna shift now because if your project is agricultural in nature, and boy do I recommend those projects because as everybody says when they call, we need to be able to feed ourselves. We all treasure the ability to feed ourselves. If your project is agricultural in nature, then the organization for you is RADA. The Rural Agricultural Development Authority is a statutory body. It was established under the Rural Agricultural Development Authority Act in 1990. The Act of 1990, and it replaced the Land Authorities. Do you remember Land Authorities Act?
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. That is the one that my father was an extension officer in the Ministry of, working for them. I don't know. I just know he was an extension officer. But RADA is the government organization that is focused on driving national economic growth and stability through agricultural development. Everybody who wants to do something in agriculture should get to know RADA. And we should, rather than leave it there and the only thing we know about it is what is the latest scandal, we should be inundating RADA with requests for support and assistance as we seek to build through agriculture. RADA is committed, this is their mission. RADA is committed to promoting the development of agriculture in Jamaica as the main engine of economic growth in rural communities. Through an efficient, modern, and sustainable extension service which will enhance the national economy and improve the quality of life of rural farm families. I love the mandate, their mission. Sorry, it says everything that we love. It talk about families. Well, I'm a country girl, so anything that's a rural makes me feel like, I'm being considered. And it talks about enhancing national economy.
But do you put the resources behind it?
Well, let us test them. The only way we're going to know is when we begin to test them. Good morning, Earl and Conrad. I'm so sorry that your adoptive country is in such a state of crisis.
Not anymore.
They're talking all about the horrors going on the borders, on the border with Ottawa, and Earl Brown called them occupiers. Some of the occupiers want to see the overthrow of the Canadian government. Yes, we're very sorry things not going right in where you are, but perhaps you could focus with us a little bit on how we want to build some community-based organizations in Jamaica to make changes in Jamaica so that when you're fed up with Canada, you can come home and find yourself very well received, especially because you would be seen as a partner in some of the communities where we're trying to bring change. We are sorry about what's happening in Canada, but the truth of the matter is that one is bigger than us. It's above our pay grade.
I love it.
Okay, so back to RADA.
I won't say anything else. Back to RADA. So RADA has done it. One of the things they have said, it. You spoke about your father being an extension officer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. People have complained that in a lot of communities don't see them. So that's why I'm saying put money behind of it in terms of
my father died.
Expertise there.
So let's talk. Let me just share with you what some of the things that RADA seeks to do. What they are established to do. They supplement information to rural development agencies, assisting in advancing improvements in rural infrastructure. That sounds generally roads, water, systems that allow you to navigate your environment. They provide supplemental social services that are required for the improvement of the quality of life of farm families. I don't know what that means in terms of social services, but we are going to find out. Just listen carefully so you can hear what applies to you, what it is that you desire that you're not getting. They provide technical advice to farmers of any size. Now, that is easy. When you've identified your land and you decide that I'm going to put this land into production, you can get technical advice from RADA. I dare say they will help you to work out your irrigation system, the size of your plot, what your productivity ratio should be in terms of what you should plant, how to plant it, and what the yield ought to be from your farm. They can guide you on, how to nourish the land so that it gives you the best yield. And technical advice, you can get that from RADA. And they say they will provide you with reliable agricultural marketing information so you can know too what's in demand, what to plant, when to plant it, where to sell it, maybe even some information on general pricing, and they might even tell you, be able to guide you what level of investment, how much money you should be spending on a crop given what the yield is likely to be and the return on it, so they can help you to make a business out of agriculture.
Stretching it, sister.
Well, it says so.
I'm just putting it, I'm just stretching it.
Their objectives now, they say they will train and develop extension personnel at all levels. So suppose you want to be an extension officer in your community so you can help the farmers who are around you.
The training that you can
Training and development, you can get that from RADA. So one of your projects can be, I want to select 6 young men and women or whatever gender, and we want to be trained so we can help the farmers in our area. That can be your project. There's a place for you. They will mobilize agricultural credit and other input opportunities for small farmers.
We spoke about agricultural credit banks at PC Bank.
Yeah.
PC Bank.
But I spoke to Nigel Myrie, who was on the program with us before and who has consented to speak to us again, to share with us again. I have enlisted his aid to help the communities, those who want to start a farming project, and he has given me some very practical tips which I'm going to share before we end. But so as not to overwhelm you with too much detail, if you go on RADA's website, you will see a full layout of what it is that they will do. So just remember, if your project is in agriculture, there is a partner for you, and it's RADA. All right, so I've done RADA. The other institution that I want to do, this one is a private trust, but it is still very relevant, is the Jamaica Environment Trust. This is JET. You hear about them all the time. If conservation and protecting the environment is where your project needs to be, then you can partner with
JET. And they've been leading the fight to the cockpit country.
Yes. And we see them all the time. Anytime there's a beach cleanup, or so if you live in a coastal town or there's a river in your community that has an impact on life in the community, natural resource, that is JET's. Let me just find them. That is their remit. Let me see. I'll just type it in again and start all over. So the Jamaica Environment Trust, this is a private trust. As I said, you can establish a trust as your project. And they have a number of projects underway which you can participate in if you don't want to start all over. But I just want to give you general information on who they are and what they do. Here we go. This is JET.
And I think our guest from last week, Thursday, Morrison, Bevan.
Oh, Bevan. Oh, yes, that's true.
Bevan would have been involved.
Good morning, Bevan. I hope you're listening to us.
Some of the work that they've been doing. So the general thing is that even though a lot of these, the 1660s about people actually taking charge of their situation, changing mindset, there are organizations out there who can help you in terms of what you need to do and what you need to accomplish. So we're just highlighting some of them: agriculture, art, RADA, social infrastructure, JSIF, and of course the Jamaica Environmental Trust.
The Jamaica Environment Trust, their tagline is a voice for Jamaica's natural resources. So they are established to protect the natural resources through law, advocacy, and conservation projects. You can donate to them. It's a membership organization, so you can join them and you can volunteer. There are a number of projects that they have underway, conservation projects, which you can go on their website and learn more about them. But I think they are an excellent resource if what you want to do is a project that touches and concern the protection of a natural resource or to protect the environment generally, whether it is you know, how to handle garbage, recycling of garbage, clean up, and just maintaining some system. You might decide that you want to start a recycling project in your community, so you want to set up bins and have a system in place to communicate with community members, or you want to, whatever it is you want to do. There are partners who can give you technical advice, you know, just help you to get established and help you to navigate those uncharted courses. Let's see what else we have. So that's the 3. All right. I started by referring to the different structures that you can use. The co-op. A cooperative is a not-for-profit organization that there's a place where you register it. To start it, you need to bring the interested parties together, have at least, well, this is RADA standard, you need to have at least 2 meetings so you can be registered with RADA. So if your project is in agriculture, let me tell you what is recommended. Actually got that very helpful hint from my friend Mr. Myrie. He says, okay, of course, I wanted to know if RADA has a starter kit for farmers, something I recommend, and maybe that is one of the things that we will accomplish if we have more than one agricultural projects. We will narrow down a basic kit that a combination of seeds, information, and, you know, contact persons. We'll see how that goes. So he said to me, they have to start by meeting. Elect officers, a president, a vice president, a secretary, and a treasurer. Conduct 2 official meetings with confirmed minutes. Then you can register with RADA and start the application process to become a benevolent society or a co-op. Very easy. If agriculture is the project you want to do, you need to have at least 2 confirmed meetings with minutes and elect your officers. And that's it. We'll get you registered with RADA, and you're on your way to being established and recognized now as a beneficiary of the resources that you need to implement your project. How easy is that?
One of the things that just jumps out is the need to train in human resource. How you conduct meetings, simple things that people know to do that.
So you know that is our role now.
Yeah, so how you can conduct a meeting.
The Morning Connection as the parent of these ideas. The Morning Connection as the mother of these projects will give the initial nurturing before we toss you out of the nest, so you can go ahead and build. Now, this model of just having 2 meetings and electing your officers is actually very useful to apply across the board for any project, even for your JSIF project if you're going to do a socioeconomic poverty reduction project. The same model works. The only thing I will say to you in terms of numbers, you need a minimum of 10 members to start your co-op.
Right.
Including your officers, you need 10 persons. So I think we'll just let that be the minimum standard, because if you can't get 10 people in the community to participate in something, then it is not a democratic process.
No, not. It's
tending more towards the personality-driven, informal thing.
Right.
Which, not that we would discourage you, but in order for you to do something for your community, you must have community involvement, which means you must have at least 10 people who feel the same way about it and want to accomplish something.
And it leads to sustainability.
And it will engender sustainability. This is a point I am emphasizing because many of us are inclined to be mavericks. We are committed to being the one man standing against the world. But remember what we say always. If we can't bring the family, then it is a loss. I'm just rephrasing it. We are not interested in one great survival. We want to, this is what, no man left behind?
Yeah.
That's what we're saying? Yes. So it is an important part of what we're doing, that we are able to communicate with persons effectively so that they buy into the vision and the mission.
Right.
And we must show the level of humility and partnership that we can bring others along with us. And that too is a hallmark of leadership. That you can bring others along with you. You alone coming as a lone warrior is not impressive.
Not
so,
in this time and season.
Absolutely. This is a time when you've got to step down from your lofty position or whatever it is you may be thinking. A lot of us think that we know what's best in a situation, and because we are right, we are prepared to be the only right person. That don't make no sense. You don't want to be the only right person. You want to be the individual who can communicate the rightness of your position to others and bring them in unity with you. Isn't that what we're looking for?
Yeah. But so it is always a balancing act in terms of the leader, but the leader, like what Moses did, the passage you read, he spread it out. People are capable and things, spread it out, common vision, working together, sustainable.
There is a process to extracting the vision from your neighbors and friends. There is a process. They won't all come agreeing with you right from the start. So sometimes you may have an idea of what you think the thing ought to be. But instead of saying, this is what we're doing, you start by pulling from persons. What do they think? What do they see? And you try to weave a fabric made out of all the ideas you're getting, so you see what it looks like. Kind of how an artist creates. That may be your role. You may think that this is really what ought to be in place, but you don't lead with that. You start by having discussion and opening up the conversation so persons can voluntarily say, this is what is in my heart for my community. Just, a little aside there. Okay. Yep.
That's it.
If you want to do a trust, the way to establish a trust, if it's your trust, then you are the donor, meaning you are going to put up the first dollar that is required to implement the activities of the trust. So you can put $1 million in an account and call it the, TMC Community Trust, for example. That $1 million is the capital of the trust. You appoint a committee of managers to operate the trust with you as the trustee. You give them a mandate. You can retain for yourself some voting rights, so you can ensure that the trust is doing what it ought to do. A trust is meaningless unless the beneficiaries are clearly defined. So your trust might be for the benefit of children between the ages of 1 to 10 in X community. So anyone who looks at the trust can immediately set the eligibility criteria for the beneficiaries of the trust. In order for a trust to be sustainable, it must be able to exist of the interest that is earned by the capital. So your $1 million is there, and you're using it to generate interest and money that will run the trust. Your trust may be such that persons can contribute to it. So once you've done your trust deed and you register it with the requisite what is it called again, the documents registry.
You mean cooperatives and
no, a trust, you don't register your trust with a cooperative. You would register it at the
company's
one
office?
of those, not the company's office, one of the where you register deeds.
Okay. You mean RGD?
Yes.
RGD?
It's RGD. That place, it has an office in Spanish Town.
Registered General Department. Okay.
Registered General.
Yes. I was wondering.
Right. No, your trust is a deed, like where you register deed polls and where you register. Yeah, it is your other place where you minister. That's why I kept looking at you. Yeah, so you would register your trust with the Registered General Department. It's the same place. It's a deed. So it's the same place you would register a deed of trust, a deed poll, a power of attorney.
Okay.
Register your trust. You set up bank accounts for it. You do the various, corporate things, and you can open your trust now to taking donations from other persons. So persons can give money into your trust. but it is still a private trust, and there are some organizations that might not deal with it unless they are satisfied with the system of governance and so on and so forth. Yes. Yeah, so even someone like who was it that was struggling to get his name on a co-op because he didn't meet the fit and proper requirement?
In Jamaica, yeah?
Yes, man. An artist that I really like too. Buju Banton. Buju Banton was struggling to get his name on a co-op. He could have established a private trust.
Okay.
And do what he's doing, because you don't need government approval to be on your trust. What you need, it's your trust. It's your money. Put your money in trust. But then the problem he might have is with tax incentives. All right, it's time for the break, and everybody's looking like they're gonna launch a war to bring us into submission. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi start?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, you know, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time on shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience, and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. You hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
I try and call you, know, cause trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
Ah, what a relief.
Easy! Let not your hearts be troubled. Just believe in God Almighty and daily renew the mind. As we live in this time when fake is more valued than real, lies prefer the truth, the unnatural put above the natural. This is Lady Donna, aka Double D Don, with a new song, Almighty Jah, encouraging your people to keep the faith. God will make a way. Get your copy today. It's on all digital platforms. Lady Donna Official on Instagram, Facebook, AsujaRecords.com. For bookings, Asuja Record Label at Gmail. Almighty Jah!
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales, shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station.
Moving.
This is my station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Bess FM, keep listening.
Half a tree. One already, 200. Ready, mama? Ready. Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
Just pay your dues, my friend. Take my medical news. Oh, doctor, come to meet my patient. Oh, doctor, come to meet my patient.
Veg Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veg Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back to the Morning Connection. I can't believe I have gone so far into the morning's program and I have not expressed condolences to the family of my very good friend who passed away yesterday, died yesterday, Donovan Jackson. I think there's a part of my mind that is just not accepting it despite.
You're in denial. You're in denial.
Yeah, I think so. I'm, and of course, his brother died. Lenny Jackson, Dr. Lenworth Jackson died.
I also want to know
in
that guy
2020.
so familiar.
So familiar. Yes, they were lookalikes, man. And Donovan was just one of the greatest individuals you would have the honor of working with, of just engaging with. He was patient. When I joined, we worked at the same law firm for a few years. As a newbie lawyer, you could not tell the difference. He was patient, he was humble, he was engaging, he was helpful. I had left the country. For a short while. I'd gone abroad to set up a firm. And when I came back, Donovan had moved on to another firm. It is one of the things that I understood why, but we drifted apart somewhat. And when his brother died, Lenny was my doctor too. When his brother died, we reconnected, and I made a commitment that I just would not let time pass quite so. But no, yesterday I got the sad news that he had passed away, and I do hope that his family will be comforted by their memories of just what a wonderful person he was. He never wasted time in showing that he cared. So I know that their hearts are full, both with, I guess, the pain of not having your loved one around you, but also they're comforted knowing that he did all that he could while he was alive. I can't imagine that he would have changed from being that kind of person in the time that I was no longer close with him. So my condolences. I'm not sure. Anyway, my condolences to everyone connected to Donovan Jackson. I know that you are grieving. And then just in, the Governor General, Sir Patrick Allen, has been hospitalized. He reported he was not feeling well, taken to a medical facility where he is undergoing observation.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's I've just noted that in recent times.
How old is the Governor General?
Close to 70.
Close to 70?
Or beyond that, probably. I knew him as a teacher in Spanish Town when he was.
Some people might think you're close to 70, and I know he's way older than you.
Yes.
Oh, let me return.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that I was just saying that I've noticed a lot of persons in recent times who have impacted Jamaica have just been transitioning out of this sphere into another sphere. It's just a transition.
Yeah.
So would you say that what's next in terms of our 1660? Somebody has offered to give us a song for it,
Oh, really?
Yes, he has a song, and he said if we could, we could use the song we want in terms of 1660.
Yeah. Well, please let me say first that we do wish that the Governor General will make a speedy recovery. We know that he's a man who is very familiar with God and the principles that anchor the kingdom of God. So I know many prayers are going up for him to be restored to full health. And I just want to say here that Jamaicans across the board who have different views about the continued involvement of the Queen in our business and the Governor General's position as the Queen's representative, I want you at this time to suspend any feelings of objection at how these things are, and to just remember that Sir Patrick Allen is a Jamaican man, a father, a husband, a friend to many, and in times of infirmity we put aside every political notion and we surround people with love and respect and honor and care, because the fact that they may serve in one way or another that is displeasing to us has nothing to do with the humanity of things. So please all just know that when persons suffer or hurt, There is only one response that is the right response, and it is a compassionate humanitarian response. And we give that every time. We give it whether it is friend or foe. Of course, this is absent when situations when you are in battle and you have hurt your enemy. You can't hurt your enemy and then say, hush, not mine. Just making it clear that first and foremost, we respond in a humanitarian way. Earlier I was telling Pastor Percival, as we looked at the picture of Leroy Russell or whatever his real name is. We looked at him. Yeah, we looked at him being picture loaded into the vehicle. I guess arriving at the hospital or being taken to the hospital. Yeah. And tears came to my eyes when I read the account of how he was beaten. And I thought, that man is a prisoner. He is in the care of a state agency. There is no offense he could commit that should result in him being put in that condition. And we looked at the American policemen piling onto that black man's neck, and all the world was in a state saying Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter everywhere, whether it is at the hands of other black people or white people or even themselves. Our lives matter. There's no cause. I don't care what he did. I'm telling you, I don't care what they say he did. Throw food at a guard, so what?
But this the program.
For you to be beaten like that in a government facility, you're not on the street where, out of control thugs are at war. You're in a government facility where your health and your well-being is the responsibility of the government. You should not be in hospital for any kind of bust up in no prison like that. Every one of them should be charged with attempted murder. Yeah, even the ones who stood by and looked. For reducing a citizen in that. Oh, I thought you said for what?
No, man, I said power.
Well, you read it this morning. Yes. You read it this morning. It's an abuse.
Yes. It's an abuse. Without love.
Anyway.
Go back to it. But
yes, let's get back to
that's an important thing, though. Yeah. You have to be so careful in terms of how we do things. And it grieved me, It grieved me. I have been in situations where my response, based on what the person did to me, like, this the program, It's to lash out. Mm-hmm. And then I feel a hand on my shoulder, say, that's not the way. Who touched on my shoulder? Say, my son, that is not the way to go. No, that's not the way. Yeah. That's not the way.
But let me tell you, I've been in situations where my rights were so trampled upon that I wanted to break something. And these are the situations where it's you alone standing up for yourself. Mm-hmm. You alone. And there's no lonelier place to be than in prison.
Wow.
So there are times when just where you are can be so overwhelming that it will break you and cause you to be irrational in your response. And when persons break in those moments, the rest of us who are free and powerful can't pile on them and beat them down. That is a time when you must exercise the training that you have and the patience and so on.
And this the program.
Of course. I was in court on one occasion, as a defendant. And I saw some things going and I got so annoyed and I spoke up. And then in the end, before I left the court, I had to apologize because, like the hand on your shoulder, I couldn't leave it just like that. I had to apologize. But when I look and I saw how my rights were being abused and trampled on, and there was no one, not even the judge, who seemed to have an interest in making sure that things went in the right way. Mm-hmm.
Justice.
I was in court, and the policeman was trying to. This is in COVID now when they said, they're managing how many persons stand in one space and blah, blah, blah. And it was bad enough.
It's still in COVID.
Yeah, it was bad enough that when we arrived, the doors to the court were closed. Mm-hmm. So you couldn't go in, you didn't know what was happening. And you stood outside, and there's a police guarding the door who's not letting you go in. Not letting you go in. And I thought, this should be, it's an open court hearing, but because of the COVID protocols, they closed the door. So I thought, surely there's a better way to see to the administration of justice without locking people out of the court where you are supposed to be a part of the proceedings. So I wasn't pleased with that, and I was mulling over it. And then when you get inside now, there was another, anyway, by the time the policeman was telling us where to go, I just said, I'm not moving. I just ignored him. It was like, this is enough. I've had enough. I'm not moving. And he was getting irate. Anyway, by the end of the proceeding, I didn't throw anything at him, or I just refused to move. It was like, you know what, this is enough. The only thing I can do is take control of where my body is situated, and you're not going to take that away from me. I think one of the attorneys saw that we were getting to a strange point and said to the judge, well, there are too many persons in that area. The policeman oughtn't to be sending people there. And that's how it was. So I in the end, suffice it to say, I know what it is to be in the presence of overwhelming authority and feel that you have no control and feel that you are definitely at a great disadvantage. And sometimes the only control you can exercise is to just do something irrational. You know? And can you so I'm empathizing with...
Can you extrapolate how you are feeling with a mass of people around the world, how they are feeling in terms of all of what has happened?
Of course.
Overwhelming use of power.
Yes, that is why why you see people doing things that make no sense, like, you know, congregate on a border and just stay there. I mean, how are they getting food and fuel and the place is so cold?
Yeah. No, it's just...
Yeah, you will just do, because it's the only thing you can do at this point is determine where you are situated. I am standing here, and by God, you're going to have to lift me up to move me. But don't tell me to move and expect me to obey.
And a lot of people in a lot of countries have come to that state of mind. They just go and say, okay.
It happens. It happens.
So I just have word to the wise and the powerful.
Can I tell you, I have to congratulate our Prime Minister. I have never seen a man walk closer to the sun and not get his wings melted.
Okay.
Because Jamaica was on that same trajectory. We're going there, mandate. We were being primed and pushed and ready. And somehow, I know that there have been a lot of prayers, but I still have to congratulate our Prime Minister for hearing his people.
And listening.
Things not perfect, but I tell you, it's not as bad as it could be in other places.
In other countries.
And at the very least, he did not do what some others did, which is to introduce a raft of repressive protocols and then have to dial it back. Because you see, Boris Johnson has, just as the Queen has succumbed to COVID. This is no laughing matter. She's a frail old lady.
She's 90 or much?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's...
And she probably don't even have COVID. She probably just have a small flu. But in this day and age, just as the Queen is, can you imagine? Anyway, terrible. He has let it go. Canada gonna fall too. Because that is the weight, and to those who believe we are powerless, that is the weight of the human voice speaking in one tone.
Yes, coming and saying enough is enough. Because
enough.
You know, I'm just reflecting on the some people call it the public bus up in tourism.
Yeah.
And somebody coming in and saying, okay, all right, we gotta fix this.
Gotta take control of that.
We gotta fix it. We gotta fix that, and then we just have to do better. And no, but means we have to do better by ourselves, for ourselves. We have to do better. We got to do better. And if people are not hearing, and hear me now, leaders are delegated authority. That's why we pray for them.
Yeah.
That we might live peaceful and whatever life. If they venture off that path and continue to be self-seeking, self-gratifying, only about themselves, he God still rules in the affairs of
men.
And Nebuchadnezzar went like that, and God says, okay. The watchers looked down and said, this is what we are decreeing, this is what we are saying. I wish that not on my worst enemy, that God pronounces a sentence against you because of what you have done. Even though God is speaking and saying, my son, my daughter, the different princes in our society, you must not behave like that. These people are my creation.
Let my people go.
Yes.
All right. So on the 1660, we'll do that before we break and Pastor Percival. Let me give you the broad outline. A few mornings ago, the Morning Connection team announced that we are going to do our own project. We have many projects, but this one is 1660. 60 communities across Jamaica who commit themselves to change, following the plan, the model, as defined by the Morning Connection hosts. And remember now, we had given you that. I have to put this on our website somewhere.
Take a picture.
Yes.
Get a vision of what you want to see change, right. whether it is in the social
pictures and videos of your community.
Yeah.
For two reasons. You need it as a part of your narrative of your project, and you need it for comparison at a later stage.
Yeah, to say this is where it was.
It's the before and after.
We call it, yeah.
Right.
In the social sciences, we call it the pre and the post.
Yeah.
Yes.
You will be required to organize a cross-denominational group to lead the process. And this now is speaking specifically to church, because this process is anchored in prayer.
Yeah.
It begins with a spiritual vision of what you desire in your community. This vision has to be reduced to prayer points.
Yeah, right.
PowerPoints. Prayer points.
But they are PowerPoints.
Yes,
prayer points because they become power. There's power in the prayer.
Absolutely. And then in the process, Pastor referred to the spiritual mapping, where you walk through and determine the action that you want taken in your community. So that is the broad schema of the model. On our side of the fence, the Morning Connection will do an outdoor broadcast in your community in partnership with the community actors. Now remember that you need to have at least 10 persons as part of your core team, because out of your vision will come a community-based organization. That's why we were talking about CBOs and co-ops and trusts and whatnot. That's the practical side. Now we do the spiritual side with the prayer points. On the practical side, the same prayer points will be converted into the mandate or the mission for your community-based organization. We kick off, or we will in the early stages have an outdoor broadcast. The Morning Connection will come into your community and we will do a show from your community. We're going to have 2 celebrations. One will be in August, Independence. By that time, we can do a progress report on your project. And the other celebration will be at the end of the year, when we can reward the success of the project. And that is whatever stage it is at, because remember, these projects are ongoing. So if you decide that I am going to create a space for a safe receptacle for garbage in my community, and I'm going to ensure that each household has 2 bins. Let's say that is your project, because too much garbage on the street, and we're going to organize a troop of people that will go through the community on weekends or on whatever interval and pick up garbage. We're going to pick up garbage even if people should know better, but this is our project.
Keep the community clean.
Yes.
And beautiful.
Then when you have your community settled and it is clean and beautiful, you can choose another project and on you go. So it is meant to be sustainable. So one celebration will be in August, when what we'll take is a progress report. And the other celebration will be at the end of the year, because that is the end of the 60th, when it would be to reward the success. And more likely than not, we will have a ranking of projects and see which communities excel to the point where, some kind of award can be conferred. the Morning Connections commitment is to ensure the delivery of technology. Listen to me, Mr. Producer, because you are the executioner of this one. We are going to ensure that the technology to enable internet connectivity is present in these communities. I already have my plan on how to do this, but we don't have carousel anymore. Who knows by that time? Who knows?
Or get a
well, to be honest, I'm really thinking about hotspots
Yeah.
that can be set up in the community, and yes, and the community won't thief it because it's theirs. So that's a commitment that we make. Each community must have connectivity so that you can have online classes, homework support for children. There's some access to service that you can have, and the government already has some project in place to bring
each country
absolutely. So I'm going to associate myself with what already exists and be the driver to see that the communities have that. And the other thing we will do is assist in coordinating the state resources to establish your projects. So, for example, we have connection with JSIF. Once you have set up, we have connection with JSIF and RADA. Once you have done your first 2 meetings, elected your officers, got the vision for your project well scoped and outlined, your prayer points are in place, and your prayer warriors are praying at the right intervals. Absolutely. We will then bring in the JSIF representative to meet with your group or to instruct and guide your group into moving your project into the next level of implementation. Not complicated, not difficult at all. The hardest part is for you to bring your 10 people and to start.
Yeah.
That is the major work of the morning. We are determined to give this the best possible chance of survival. That is our commitment here. Anything on that note, Pastor, before we go?
No, I think that's a good plan, a simple plan that we can move forward with, and people can use it as a blueprint, and they can fill in a lot of the blanks and the spaces. But it's a skeleton that we are putting out that people can work with. And as then we are out there looking for partners. If you as a company say, oh, that's a great thing, I want to be associated with, talk to us, speak to us, even as we roll out beyond the morning.
Yes, that is one of our beyond the morning.
Beyond the morning.
Yes.
Into the afternoon.
There was
beyond the morning to the afternoon.
Yeah, there was something that caught my mind this morning, and I really wanted to share it. Let me see. This morning we read from Colossians, and the Apostle Paul was sending greetings and saying, "My fellow prisoner sends you his greeting." And that just made me think of our men and women who are in prison. Some of them are there as part of the purpose for which they were created, and there's work that they are doing there and work that they are to do when they come out. And so while they are there, we cannot reduce them into we can't heap such torture on them that we may either interfere with their purpose or, God forbid, we kill them.
There are famous stories of persons who were on the wrong path, went to prison, and they've come out of prison with such a great passion and vision and understanding purpose, and their latter days have been so much greater than what happened formerly in their lives. They really become role models, and we see it throughout scripture in terms of persons who had to go through stuff, had to have a major confrontation, and a change happen. And I'm always reminded of Bess.
All right, we got the break signal, so let's take our break. When we return, we'll open the lines. Of course, the numbers to call are 876-619-1508, 876-279-8473.
We'll be right back.
BBC News. Hello, this is Jerry Smith. The Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia's recognition of the independence of the breakaway regions of Luhansk and Donetsk marks a challenge for the whole of Europe. At a news conference in Kiev, he said the security of the entire continent was being decided. Mr. Zelensky was speaking after reports that columns of military vehicles were on the move in Donetsk. Our correspondent, James Waterhouse, is in Kiev.
This is not a speech you give if you're expecting the diplomatic path to be pursued further. Russia's ambassador to the UN has said that door remains open, but the options clearly are vastly reduced after Vladimir Putin giving the order for troops to enter those occupied territories in the east of Ukraine. There are reports about military hardware and troops moving in, but the big question mark is, are they just going to consolidate what the militants have already taken, or are they going to spread further into Luhansk and Donetsk regions as a whole, which is another 2/3 of territory which is currently under government control? If that happens, that is effectively a state of war.
The Kremlin spokesman told reporters he was unable to confirm that Russian troops had entered separatist-held areas. He said Moscow was open to diplomacy. Germany's Chancellor Olaf Scholz has said he's suspending a key Baltic gas pipeline, Nord Stream 2, following Russia's recognition of the Ukrainian breakaway regions. He's halting the process needed to grant the Finnish pipeline regulatory approval. Theo Leggett has more.
I think this is a very significant move. It shows that the EU is prepared to bare its teeth in this face-off with Russia. Russia will suffer from Nord Stream 2 not being open. That was a potential conduit for a huge quantity of gas to come directly from Russia into Germany and bypassing Ukraine. For Germany, obviously, it's the loss of potentially a good supply of cheap gas at a time when gas prices have been very high. It shows that pressure from the United States and elsewhere is coming to play in Europe. It shows that Olaf Scholz is willing to take difficult decisions and that the European Union as a whole is willing to take at least some pain in order to achieve its objectives with regard to Ukraine.
The French Finance Minister, Bruno Le Maire, said Paris was joining international action against Russia and was prepared to go further with sanctions if necessary.
Le président de la République nous a demandé de mettre en œuvre des sanctions appropriées.
The President has asked us to put in place appropriate and targeted sanctions against Russian interests with our European partners. We obviously reserve the right, depending on further developments, to step up these sanctions. We will not allow President Putin to violate international law with impunity.
The prospect of conflict in Ukraine has prompted a sharp rise in energy prices. World news from the BBC. The UN Human Rights Office's special envoy to Myanmar has accused China, Russia and Serbia of supplying the Burmese military authorities with weapons used against civilians. Tom Andrews said fighter jets and rockets were among equipment being sold to the junta. A court in Japan has for the first time ruled that victims of a decades-long forced sterilisation program for those with disabilities should be compensated by the state. The Osaka High Court sided with 3 plaintiffs, ordering they be paid more than $200,000. William Leonardo has the details.
From after the Second World War until the 1990s, more than 15,000 Japanese people were made to have an operation to prevent them from having children described as inferior. The programme targeted those with physical or mental disabilities, but in some cases having behavioural problems was enough. For years, redress in the courts hasn't succeeded, often because of how long ago the procedures happened, so the awarding of compensation by the Osaka High Court today sets an important precedent. In 2019, the Japanese government apologised for the programme and offered victims some money, but most haven't claimed.
Hong Kong's leader Carrie Lam has ordered the compulsory testing of all the city's residents for coronavirus. The authorities are trying to maintain a zero-COVID policy despite surging infections. Ms Lam said everyone had to undergo 3 rounds of tests with penalties for those who don't comply. In Britain, Queen Elizabeth has cancelled her virtual engagements for the day because of what Buckingham Palace described as mild COVID symptoms. The Queen, who's 95, tested positive for coronavirus on Sunday. Scientists in Britain say a fossil of an ancient flying reptile found on a Scottish island is the largest pterosaur ever discovered from the Jurassic period. The skull and body of the 170-million-year-old creature were found on the Isle of Skye. BBC News.
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station.
Moving.
My station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Bess FM, keep listening.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is your radio pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Best 100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in the Lord.
He's coming back. Yes, indeed, it's redemption time with Apostle Clive Campbell, presenting a life-changing, life-challenging message to encourage, inspire, and motivate you towards your destiny. Every Tuesday night from 9:30 p.m. until 12:30 a.m. and on Saturday from 9 o'clock until 10, right here on Best 100 FM. It's redemption time.
I'm standing for live the life, respect the music, and keep your radio locked in. Best 100 FM.
Half a tree. One already, 200. Ready, mama? Ready. Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
Just pay your dues, my friend. Take my medical news. Oh, doctor, come to meet my patient. Oh, doctor, come to meet my patient.
Melody in my voice. Kemisha plays the music nice. Melody in my voice. Kemisha full of vibes. Best FM run the town. Yes, I run the town. Hear me loud and clear. They run the country and the town. Or the far and near. Bless the love and to Empress Kemisha on Best FM, and it's all about the resetting. Mondays to Thursdays 2 to 5 p.m. on Best FM. Keep it locked. This is Warrior King, the Black Emperor. Come on, tune in.
Vejan Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vejan Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back to the Morning Connection. Thank you so much. We are getting to the part of the day now when you make sense of all we've been saying up to this point, and we get to interact with you. Of course, there are a lot of times we say a lot of things before 8 o'clock, and when you call, you want to talk about everything but that. Still, this morning, I am setting some ground rules. This morning, I do want you to say something to us about your interest in setting up your own community-based organization. I am very hopeful that it struck the right note with several of you who are listening. I have to provide another way for you to get in touch with us other than by calling in, because I know the lines are under pressure somewhat. So please, we have an email address. It is themorningconnection@gmail.com. That's it. themorningconnection@gmail.com. If you decide that you want to be a part of this journey, the 60 and 60, or not as a 60 and 60 candidate, but just to set up your own CBO, please reach out to us by email. Also, you can call the station, any of the ways you can get through to us, but just know that we want to hear from you. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Morning. Morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am very well, thank you. How are you?
Not bad.
It wasn't that. Was you honest today?
Sorry, say that again,
Were
please.
Were you honest today?
Yes, we
man,
were.
we were on.
You missed us.
I called to my phone, drop out of me, and I'm not get you.
Oh.
You rusty up. We're on.
Nowadays, you make me out nowadays, man. It's not what you're making me out.
But Rusty is appreciative that you're recognizing him
After
now.
that time, Rusty, I pick up voices.
I call this program from its inception, man.
Okay.
I think we need to get a special line for you.
Your foundation.
Yeah, man, for the program just start from that Ghana and you both come on, man. I call the program for them time till now.
No, that's true. You've been and I thank you for it, because it really is the conversations that give the program an additional strength.
You know, the program is so busy nowadays, we can't get you again.
True?
I ask man, we can't get you again, man. The program is gaining a lot of traction here, man.
I've asked the producer to get me some more lines.
Yes, you need some more line. Believe me, and not even a line, you need the extension,
That's true. So that
you need a 5 more for to stay on the program, man.
Rusty, you'd have to bring breakfast for me.
Not problem, man. So this program came one of the most popular morning program in Jamaica, man.
Wow, I did not know.
Never know that.
Everywhere I went, I heard the program, boss.
Wow.
People are listening to the program all over the place,
Well, that is good to hear, because we put effort into it and we want persons to listen. So thank you for sharing that with me this morning, Rusty. That kind of make it worth the while to wake up early and come out.
Man, this program need 1 hour, 1.5 hour, man.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going away too quick. Come on in time, man.
I hear you. I'll see about that. But Pastor is the one I have to persuade.
Yeah. What I call to talk about?
Yes.
You see? Hello?
Yes, man. We're listening to you.
Yeah, man. What I call to talk about? It is 2 parties. I'm a PMP. My name Rusty. I'm a PMP. But not tell you the truth. These 2 parties don't do us any good from 1962 till now, miss. Because right now, see that. Look down at Central Kingston, Mr. Tweet gone. If you go down at Central Kingston right now, it's pure poverty down there.
That's true. I have to drive through it in a Rusty.
If you believe I'm lying, you can't take a peep down here for yourself, boss. If you feel it's dope,
but
pure poverty down at them place there,
Rusty, I know I go down there frequent. I have to drive through it and so on. So I know what you're talking about.
And you have people that represent, you have people for years representing that place. And them gone and the people is no better off.
Yeah.
Rusty, that's why this morning and before we've been talking about just warming up the community into just, taking a greater sense of ownership of some of these issues, because the politics cannot make the change. It can't make the change.
No, miss. Not can't.
Can't, right. That's true. People have to own it, and then that's how it will be sustained. Because even if a politician do a 1 or 2 project this season, and there's nobody to sustain it and to carry it forward, it's gonna go back into the original state.
It seems like we have to take back the country from these 2 political parties,
Yes, sir.
We have to take back the country from these 2 political parties because they're not doing any good. We have an account at a particular bank, and when I went back there to get some money, all of the money gone, no miss.
Into fees.
How can that be?
Into fees, and you're not alone in that experience, and many people complain, and it don't change.
And it's not me, money. The bank book shows that the money is in there. But when we got the bank now to get the money, the bank at them say the money is not there. I don't understand all these things, miss. I'm hard-earned cash, and I work hard for this money, man.
Let me tell you, Rusty, even
and somebody just take it from me just like that.
So now it's not the political party that is under question. It is the regulatory system that the government maintains, which is supposed to protect us in these situations. And many have complained, and I, for one, have called Bank of Jamaica to talk about how they are regulating the banks in the management of customer accounts. And Bank of Jamaica tell me that relationship is between me and the bank. I am powerless. When I go to open a bank account, I can't tell them what fees, I can't negotiate with them what fees they are permitted to take from my account. They do as they will with it unless the regulator who give them a license put some brakes on them.
Yeah, but I don't agree with you a while ago. I don't agree with what you say a while ago.
Which part of it?
When you say it's not the political parties in question. He's who is in question.
The regulator.
No, but you see, after the party takes control of government, it is no longer political party, it is government.
If you put somebody there to represent you and the person, and they're not representing you, it's the government fault.
Yes, that's the point I'm making. There's a point when it's government.
So the government don't know that thousands of people lost their money that way.
Of course they do.
They do. That's why there was a private measure motion.
Even now, the issue should have been addressed by Parliament, and we have not heard. We heard it was going to be debated on one particular day. It must lose the place on the list, and we've heard nothing since.
Look here, miss.
Yes,
I'm
Rusty.
telling you, I'm telling you, if the private sector and corporate Jamaica, it's them take over the government, miss. It's them running the government because the government cannot do anything because it rely on those people money to go here and buy vote, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. All right, Rusty.
Relying on those people money to go here and buy vote, In this last general election, it was a massive vote buying, ma'am.
So it has been reported many times, and we've not seen anything come out of those reports either.
The vote buying was so barefaced that the people wasn't hiding, ma'am. All of the polling station when people go there to vote, them sit in a car one side and I call the people and I buy them vote when I enter the polling station, How terrible thing was, miss.
Yeah, Rusty, I have another caller who was waiting for a bit, but I want to leave with this note. Even now, it is possible for persons to make reports about who they saw doing what. Even now, election gone. Even now, it is still possible. And I've been encouraging people, you know these things, find a way to say what you know. Name the names. That's what this whistleblowing legislation is about. We've got to find a way to expose those things because the people are still around and can be held to account.
And the last thing, I would say,
Yes.
We're supposed to boycott these two, we're not supposed to go here and vote for these two parties, ma'am. More people are up on the fence now, it will be more than 63% now,
Lord of mercy. But now you see, Rusty, but we have to vote for somebody because the government can't run itself. So let's get good candidates out, whether they are independent or they're part of another team. But we still need people to run the house. Not going to run itself.
But what I'm saying, these two present political parties don't deserve our vote. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, man, I hear you. I hear you.
Rusty. All right. Thank you, my brother.
All right, Rusty.
Okay.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Morning, caller.
Good morning.
I caller, hang on. But Minett,
yes.
On the face of it, you see what is happening in other countries when the people kind of get fed up and go out and they are beaten and we don't know. But as you said, we have to continue just standing. I remember most people forget that in Ukraine when they broke from the...
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning, my lady.
Good morning, sir.
What you do?
A person there.
Good man.
I want to remind Rusty something you say.
Yes.
When the time when Fitz Jackson bring that thing to the government.
Yes.
To the house. And he suggests that people must come down by the parliament there to give support. How much people they turn up down there?
Nobody.
So we can't always talk, you know. So, you know, we need to take some of the blame for a lot of things that are going on in this country. We can't always stop because, hello?
I agree with you, but I think
because so many people are dissatisfied with what is going on and nobody is taking no action. Yeah. My main point this morning, what I want to talk about is the acquittal of the Speaker of the House. And, yes. And the so-called and what took place with the
jobbing, yeah.
Disposing of garbage and the road. No, my lady and gentlemen. For the life of me, I can't understand what is happening in this country. The speaker, based on what the lawyer said, she was let off on some technicality, you know. Because that's according to the lawyer, she shouldn't have been charged. She should have been given a ticket. She shouldn't have been charged and taken to the court. She should have been given a ticket. No, the judge, in my opinion, they say we need to get quality personnel, more people have more quality to sit on the benches and those things, you know. Because listen, if I was in the judge position, there's no way I would have accepted the no case submission based on the individual that is in front of me and the example that an individual like that should be set in. I would have to find her. And if she find it my fine is not accepted for her, we can appeal to another court and probably. But you see, we are lacking. It seems to me that we are scraping the bottom of the pile to find individuals to place in position of authority in this country. You know? And that is one of the greatest problems we have in this country.
So I just went to look at the story because when it comes to matters of law, I try not to speak until I've read what the report of whatever it is said that took place in court. Now, you have to remember when you're looking at criminal matters, one, there's a presumption of innocence. Two, until you come to the point of conviction and sentencing, who the person is doesn't matter. Each person stand before the law and is entitled to the same treatment, whether they are the Speaker of the House or they are the sweeper of the House. Let me get poetic. So because she's the Speaker, when you're trying her, it really don't matter. You can't make an example of her in the course of the trial. You still have to give her every benefit of the doubt and every benefit of law. And that's one of the things that happens and cause such great disappointment in the country when we are looking to the system of justice to answer some questions that are social in their origin and not legal. So, for example, when a no case submission is made by the attorney, really saying that the essential ingredients of a criminal offense are not present to allow the judge to convict. It's a fairly technical argument. It's based on facts, but it's a technical argument. And the one in this was very obvious. If you charge someone for dumping garbage, it means they left the garbage there.
Right.
So the fact that she took up the garbage, the police said to her, whatever interaction took place, she didn't leave the garbage there, so you can't say she dumped garbage. You see what I'm saying? And that is what happened. It sounds silly and obvious, but and I don't fault the policeman. The policeman was doing exactly what you felt. Because of who she is, he's not letting her get away with it. He's gonna give her he's gonna charge her as he would any other citizen. But he should have left her, he should have waited until she drive off and leave the garbage and follow her and charge her. But he interacted with her on the spot, and he removed that critical ingredient for conviction.
I am in agreement with you on the aspect of this technicality, you know.
Yeah.
But in my humble opinion, you know, the bar cannot be so low for those type of people, you know.
No, that's a different matter.
Because if we have a society and person in authority are not held to a higher degree of accountability, then they might as well the whole we just shut up and when we see the little man out the road, I do something, nobody say nothing.
No, that is a different matter, and you're absolutely right on it. So, for example, I would say, where's the Integrity Commission with their code of conduct for how people are to behave? And what's the punishment for somebody who gets caught up in this? This is just they showed a picture of the dump site on the news, and it is still a dump site. I mean, even if I were her, I would have just voluntarily made it my mission to take that site out of commission so nobody else is confused about what's supposed to happen there. Just on a voluntary basis, I would say, you know what? It caught me. I don't want it to catch anybody else again. I am going to make it my mission to ensure that this area is cleaned and the right signage is there, and maybe have a police patrol that visit it on every so often, if I were her. But when I saw it on TV last night, at the same pile of garbage.
Everybody, and it get bigger too.
It looked like it has become more popular by reason of her having attempted to use it. So you got me there. You're right. The standard has to be higher.
Those people are legislators, you know.
Yes.
And we need to have a higher standard.
Agree with you.
Yeah.
100%.
Those type of people.
Yep.
We can't. That lady which holding such a high office.
Shame. Point well made, my brother. I have another caller on the line, so wrap up for me, please.
Yeah, man. As I said, man, we continue to script. We are going to get the type of individual with good moral standing to run this country.
Well, they're there. For example, if you don't think you're too old for it, there's you. Step up.
Well, I'm almost in the departure lounge now, you know. So I'm talking about the young people.
Identify.
And the proper example is not being set.
You identify 10 people in your community, and let's get a community-based organization established and train up some young leaders in your community to take charge of these things. How about that? Because we're doing 1660.
It's difficult. It's good. It is.
No. Don't let the listeners. No, sir. It is very possible. It's very possible.
I tell you now.
Right now, Jamaica come like a frog in a.
All right, I'm gonna leave you.
In a pot in a boiling water.
I am going to leave you on that note. Let me take another call.
All right, then.
Get more hopeful and find 10 people for me, please.
All right.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yes, good morning to you both.
Hey, good morning, sir.
How you doing?
All right. I was in a conversation yesterday with two people. I was telling them that public records like a birth certificate, a death certificate, and a land title certificate can be bought by members of the public. Am I right?
Can be bought, you mean?
Apply for it and pay for it.
I can buy them. I can buy the copies of the documents.
You mean like a fraudulent document?
No. I mean a legal copy of a birth certificate, a legal copy of a death certificate, a legal copy of a land title certificate.
You mean
public records, right?
Yeah. No, you can apply for it, yeah, man.
Yes, you can. I hope I'm hearing you right. Yes, you can apply for legitimate copies of these documents which reflect the true ownership of land, the rightful date of death of a person or birth and so on. Yes, the government allow you to apply for registered copies.
Right. That's what I was telling these two men, but they believe in their heart. They're in their 50s,
yes,
and older, and they believe in their heart that these things can only be can only be received by the person on the document. Only the person, only I can get my birth certificate is what he's saying, and only my family can get my death certificate, and only I can get my land title certificate. That's what they believe.
No, man.
Well, that's not true. That's not true. I mean, attorneys at law apply for them all the time to process matters, usually for family. You can, if you have the accurate information, you can apply for it. Yes.
Yeah.
Right, I thank you. I'm so happy, and I feel so privileged that I could come to a program like this and get the right information. Thank the good Lord that there is a legal mind available on this program. I thank you both.
Wow.
All right then, Marvin. Bless you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection. All right. Well, Pastor Percival, what time is it?
Break.
Oh, it's time for the break? Okay.
We'll be right back.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi Service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all. You can call us on 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station.
Moving.
My station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Bess FM, keep listening.
Make me your radio and turn me up when you feel low. This melody was meant for you. Sing along to my stereo.
Hey, my listening crew. This is your late afternoon companion to Shikalu on your 100 FM dial. Make sure you tune in and turn up every Tuesdays from 5 until 7 p.m. for OTAWTL. That is On the Ear with me, yours truly. A program that will leave you inspired, entertained, and informed. With the credit giveaways each week. Street Link, where we go in the streets to find out from the people what is hot and what is not, and so much more. And guess what? You can now voice your birthday shout-outs on our WhatsApp line at 876-538-9442, and we'll play them live on air. So what are you waiting for? Turn up Tuesdays from 5 to 7 p.m. right here on Best 100 FM, the station that is sizzling every day.
Veg Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veg Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Line. Let's go with the first one. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Morning, Russ. How are you doing?
Yeah, to the host, the speaker of the house, the case, the speaker of the house.
Yeah.
That really surprised me. Nothing surprised me now with any one of these people that entitled with the law, entitled with the law.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you notice how the flight green thing go on the next one there. So when I really put them thing there for my mind. What me have for my mind now is the edge with the government did have with the aisle edge.
Mm-hmm.
Where the previous government did have. And this government come and take off the aisle edge.
Mm-hmm.
And cause I'll say go up now and gas say go up so much. You understand? And across the people. Because
you mean the edge or the tax?
The edge, man.
The previous government had established like a pricing.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. To maintain stability in pricing.
You understand? And them take it off, right?
And then now, them run with Venezuela to choose Trump. Trump make them run with Venezuela. Right, them join up with Trump and run with Venezuela. But now I get no cheap oil again. The oil we are buying the dear oil from Texas. And we don't have no hedge on it. So through that now, the gas gone up so much. That's the people them can't even afford it. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem with me now. No, the next problem with me have, this next party now where it come now. We fair give with support. And now, him fair go out now. I don't know if I've jail him afraid or why not. But the more you go to jail, the more better for you because the people will go with you. Remember, Bustamante used to go on like imagine and go around, and that's what the people get for like him, you know. No, you have to stick out and go out there, and that's the people them see you out there.
Have you been following what he's doing on his UIC
social
TV?
Media alone, that alone can't work.
What he's doing on...
They have to attack main media.
Main
media.
Yeah, perhaps...
people.
Perhaps you need to get yourself into his... you have to get yourself into his inner circle to offer advice on strategy.
Yeah, but he's supposed to hurt me and thing, you understand? So I'm supposed to reach out to me. I try to reach out to him, you know. I just can't get his number, but he's supposed to reach out to me. You understand? And reach out to people like me and other people and everything there. Just upon social media and all them things there alone. It's not gonna work, it can't work. You have to go to them and the people feel you and see you. You understand? Because see come now 60 years. Them two parties are the same 30 years. Two of them the 30 years now.
Yes.
Full 30 years now. And Jamaica now go nowhere. Where's Jamaica? Jamaica doesn't have a good hospital. We don't have a good prison. We don't have a good dam.
Raspal, I hope that the UIC representatives or any one of them, leadership, I hope they are hearing and understand that their strategy and the absence of greater public engagement is causing some concern. All right, I have a that is true. I know they have their UIC TV and other, but I take your point that persons need to see them to be able to give support. All right, I have another call to take. Thank you very much, my friend.
And then again, too, you see, sometimes when people like Rusty on the phone, and sometimes you have to give a little thought, give people a little more time, you know.
Yeah, well, when I have, whenever I can.
A long time I've been here, Rusty.
Yeah.
You understand? In a way.
Yes, whenever I can, I do. In fact, I kept Rusty so long on the line, the other person hung up. All right. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Hello, Miss Minett. Good morning.
Good morning, Minett.
Morning. How are you doing?
Not bad at all, Pastor. Yes, you see, with this PNP and JLP, none of them can help we, because when I look, the whole Westmoreland is a PNP area, and everybody cheering from PNP go to JLP, right? None of them not helping, because right now in Lennox Big Woods, we don't even know who is the councillor. You don't know who is the MP. When you look at the road, the condition of the road, if anybody took sick into that district and call a taxi or a private car or whatever it may be to take you to the hospital, they are telling you clean they are not coming because the road is in a bad condition and it will burst their tire and it will mash up their bearings and all that something there. You don't know MP, you don't know councillor. So as far as I see, to me, none of them no make no difference. At least I never put in none and I never take out none. That is my desire and that is my intention. When I put in none, I not take out none. So no better barrels, no better heroin.
All right, ma'am. Thank you very much for putting in your perspective on it. We are in a democracy and people have the right to make the choices, and when it's not working, they have the right to choose again, and people need to get a good understanding of it and exercise that right. So
yes, Minett.
yeah.
Because it doesn't make no sense to say
thank you for that reminder.
You don't know MP, you don't know councillor. You don't see no sense in that. Anything, you don't know who to go to. You don't know who to go to.
Okay. I hear you.
That is foolishness, that man. That is big foolishness. Me not watching none of them. Me not putting none. Me not take out none.
Okay. All right.
All right,
Thank
my
you.
sister. Thank you very much.
Okay, Miss Minett and Pastor. Enjoy the rest of your
You
day.
too.
Morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
But in regards to removal of the
oil hedge fund.
Pauline made a call.
Good morning.
August
Welcome to the
2021.
Morning Connection.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, sir. How you do, righteousness?
Yeah, man, bless, Pastor, bless. By righteousness, I'm blessed. Good morning, Miss Minett.
Good morning,
so, righteousness not some sadness, I know, because as the man I tell you this morning, I tell you, say, in a Central Kingston, you know, nothing now, you know?
Yes.
Because a peer soldier don't know one them really, because you see how the vibes are going and all the things that are going. But anyway, you go so there sometimes look a fear of going see him yesterday. But right now, as me have problem, you know, because I make a man fix my TV, and the man fix the TV and fix time again. At $7,000 I give him no money and not going on, and the man the TV spoil back. And now I work, I myself give him more money.
So
and I just 1 month and 2 months. So them thing in the right, man. It's when I do wickedness, people fear you, but when you say righteousness over me, and God over and godliness, them say, boy, them fear you, because then she say, you know, what do them know? Because you're the real love. So, you know, send no man come tell and say, oh, you have to go fix back this now. So much more money. Them thing in the right.
You talk about the injustice from man to man righteousness. That you talk about the injustice from man to man. Marlon said.
Because look, when wickedness, remember saying, when righteousness increase, wickedness decrease.
Okay.
So we always encourage people to live up and have a love on them thing there, you know. So
True.
but me I say within so long, it's just you give $7,000 within a quick space of time, there's something now work again.
But you know, righteousness. I know.
Right,
yeah, I know. Yeah, I know that you're feeling that's not right. But you have to bear in mind, you know, when workmen do their work, they don't really give you a warranty that the work is going to hold. Meaning they don't give you a commitment that the thing won't recur. And sometimes.
All them use now. I look at flat TV. Some man old parts they use now, man, because I may have a protector on the TV, so it's still no mash up topic.
All right, my brother.
I understand your frustration, but you have to keep doing right, because he's a righteous man. But I don't think no evil thoughts, all right.
Yeah, man, but them things, that's why I'm not to do it, because if I'm the wickedness and I will fix it and pick back and fix it back.
Well, yeah, maybe you're going to have a conversation with him and see if him can look at it again.
No, but have a conversation, man, I said, boy, he can't do it back.
All right, righteousness. I have another call to take.
Right now, still, you know, them people on the right are me see it, you know.
True.
You understand?
All right.
Understand the frustration, my brother. It happens.
Probably I'm going to make it, if you can donate one to me, then I'll go and your company.
All right, listeners, all of you who love righteousness and his creative spirit, what you need, a TV?
You want a little TV, man.
Righteousness need a little TV. To the Morning Connection family out there, if you have a TV that you can share with our brother, he'd appreciate it. Because the workman didn't do a good job and he's not in a position to get a new one.
No,
let us see if somebody will respond righteousness.
Right now, we still have to do the love. I love the vibe we are talking about, the people come together. Because
yeah,
we still have to preach that. The thing not like with yesterday, I love that.
Well, and if you can think of 10 people who can join you in it, give us a call, man, and then see.
Yeah, man, because right now, I don't think even them think that when you come to me and say they love when me show them certain things, you know, and then they're in the war and things like that.
Yeah.
But, police not to take them away, so, you know, yeah, man.
All right, then, righteous.
Yeah.
Good.
But my help on with the TV still.
Yeah, man, I
put out a
call.
Okay, then.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yeah, morning again.
Good morning, sir.
Well, every time you call on the program, why this man have to call and pick on me?
I think him like you, Rusty. But you notice another man say,
This man, he's the same one that pick the call and tell us me now call back the program again. Didn't you remember?
I remember. I didn't remember that it was him, but I remember someone did say that.
It's him say someone.
It was him.
All right.
But Rusty, did you?
Every time I call the program, in call to pick for me. Why am I picking on the man?
The man like your views. But do you notice that someone else said that when Rusty call, when you have like Rusty on the line, you must give him a little more time because he like to hear when you're speaking. So you gotta take the good with the bad. Now, so Job say, how can I receive the good and not accept the bad?
Anyway, I'm a virgin still. I'm a virgin. Me have nothing. But then time I call and I expect a point in below me talk, man. When he call and I talk, me now call and try to discredit him.
All right.
Well, just so you know, he has not discredited you in our eyes.
All right.
All right,
anyway,
Rusty.
I'm a virgin still. Yeah.
All right, Rusty.
All right, Rusty. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Pastor, how you do?
Me good, man.
That will depend on you because I want you to come. Genuinely righteous, you know. So I have to call on you at all times, my brother. Because it's a part of a lamb.
Yes.
All right.
So we're together. Anybody say anything that is wrong, even some of the time I listen in it, and most time he start to touch them when they come in wrong. I say, no, this is this. And I'm pleased with that when him say the right thing.
Yes.
But you have some that agree. Some of the time I don't agree with many things you say, no. But sometimes when somebody come with the negative thing, you always try to put it right.
No, but I defend the positive. But we are saying no.
You know, Pastor.
Yeah.
You know a lot, and actually, both of us maybe are the same age. And you know the history of Bustamante. Bustamante got jail for 109 months. And when Norman Washington man, they go and ask him, say, look here, the people want to, he said, no, let them go back. I'm only looking for a little bit more bread and a little bit more butter for them. And a man come to you and I come tell you that Bustamante was a general and all anything there. But make me tell you, some of them say Buster couldn't read now anything and everything. He was very much intelligent to make this country that the moral of independent. We did have it in the 60s. How things used to run me a little boy. 10 man at work, one give each of them occupy and give them, they call it morning sport. And then dig off maybe an acre of sweet potato and yam hill. And the other one get it, and the other one get it, and they go on and they go on. And things usually run. And you see when things change, do you hear who have big house and who have big car, and them are capitalists and them are this and that. And when we check capitalists, a person who takes money and make money. And there's nothing wrong with it because I start from a small farm goat until I reach where me in a life. And there are many people who dislike me because of the ambition I have. But I don't matter that because they only look on themselves and something when they say they have the bad cancer. Because as me tell one guy said, he said, look, you have the doctor for the heart, you have the doctor for the eyes, you have the doctor for the knee, name it. But what you don't have the doctor for a bad mind, and that is one of the worst sickness. And only you can help that when you have it, my brother.
Okay then.
You hear me?
All right, Sheppy.
All right. Thank you,
Sheppy.
So, Pastor, I'm telling you, when you hear them come and you know the history of Bustamante, what he have done for us, you tell them, said, look here, man, he fight for us.
All
a
right.
little bit more bread and a little bit more butter. Because you know the history. And you must point out the things and tell them, man. They are different as a lamplight, you know. I am a lamplight, you know, because when we go past stage, when me go past stage, a righteousness we tell the people them.
All right, Sheppy. Okay, thanks. Have another call online?
Yes.
Welcome,
Good
caller.
morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning.
Good morning.
In Africa, we say something which I will not translate. Kenge mandele, kenge bafiote, entele. Not saying what it means. Mr. Prime Minister, I have three short things.
Go ahead.
The Prime Minister has now told us, that was yesterday, I think, he was explaining why he has turned so much financial attention to the army.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
the Chief of Staff, Rear Admiral, said why and how and what kind of machinery they have purchased. We have to listen to them very carefully as to where these things will be utilized. I have found my conclusion why they are suddenly focusing on strengthening its potential.
Yes.
Listen to them carefully again, people in Jamaica. There's a saying, critical analysis, all over the world. They know the evil that they have done to people. And in the same book, the Bible, they will seek a hiding place. They are all trying to escape from what is evident. It's a worldwide reaction, inequality, and wickedness. The next thing, Mr. Minister of Security.
National Security.
Chang. He referred to the issue with the DPP and the Nzinga saga. He was laughing. Go listen to him again. He chuckled near to the end of the clip on the radio. I heard it on Radio Jamaica.
Nationwide.
Yes. He chuckled.
And
it was casual.
And you interpret that chuckle to mean what?
It might happen again. The police is within their rights. I listened to his words.
Yes.
And I listened to the DPP.
But you know, what you're saying makes it all the more important for citizens to be very proactive and responsible in how we select a government, how we hold them accountable for their actions, because at any time, state power can be turned against the citizens. And I hear you saying that we are arming ourselves, and we're not arming ourselves to go and fight against, external forces. We're arming ourselves to deal with things on the ground here in Jamaica, which means, yes, yeah, I take your point.
I just like to remind them, when the President of the United States had the problem with the flight green thing, he was persuading the army to go out, not the home guard, the army, and his bad man, his field marshal man, bad man, they call him Bulldog. His closest friend turned to him and said, "You want me to turn my army against what people?"
Against you.
Remember, ma'am?
Yes. So it.
Okay, no, finish, Jeff.
Yeah.
Finish.
No, your point is obvious, my brother.
Have to be so careful.
And Jamaicans have to listen and understand that. Yeah.
Is there my question now is in two parts. Is there any way that the state or the citizens can make a move for a no confidence of a government?
Not under our existing system. That's something to be considered when we look at constitutional reform. As it is now, the citizens don't have a right to move against the government in that way. In our democracy, you do it by voting when elections are called.
Okay.
Anything else would be extra legal. And if you don't succeed, the same army that is well weaponized now would be turned against you. But thank you, my brother. We do have another caller.
Thank you.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yes, miss. No, man, Rusty, I made mistake, man.
With what?
We never say.
No, not you.
No,
not you. It
Not
was.
you.
I think it was what? Either Malvern or not Malvern.
Oh.
Whatever. It's enlightened.
Yeah,
Not you. He wasn't referring to you.
Not you, man.
You no do not. You just put out your appeal for a TV.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I think I'm in my town.
All right, then,
brother.
righteous.
Bye.
Yeah, bless.
All right, so there's another call. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. The lover, whenever anybody loves money too much.
Santa Cruz.
Yes.
You know what that's called?
You tell us.
No, I know. I was talking about
idolatry.
The root of all evil.
Money is the root of all evil, and it's not a joke. It's a
the love
thing.
of.
You need money to spend.
Yeah.
When you go overboard and put it in front of everything, then we have a problem. That's what's going on today. We have so many problems in this country. The scammers, the thieving politicians, the corrupt police, the corrupt everybody. Money. It's all about money. Money. Everybody wants right now. They don't want to work and save. Everybody wants right now.
So what does okay, we're getting to it.
Of all evil. And capitalists, whenever there's a capitalist government in this country, it's the rich that progress. They're searching for prosperity, not progress. And right now in my era, it's all some rich men dying out in the land and putting up some building. I have never seen so much construction in my life. And I'm wondering where they get all this money.
Well, Minister Chang is wondering too and says he's going to be checking on all of the, on, what is it now?
Or the financing it, self-finance,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's capitalist way of building country.
So what's your point, my brother? Because there's nothing that stops you from being a capitalist if you have the resources or can organize the resources so that you can prosper. Tell me what's on your mind. It can't be that it is the capitalists who make money when they put their money to work, because it's their money.
Yeah, it's their money, but when all on your mind, it's just about money and nothing else. Then you walk on people, you'll do everything, you'll kill.
And you will also lose the money. Because and you will also lose the money.
Yeah, you can lose it too.
It takes a certain level of righteous behavior to sustain wealth.
But a lot of these capitalists that I knew from when I was a child, they live till old and great. And then they pass.
So maybe they are doing some good.
Not the one I know.
You must know. And you know, Santa, I think he's a capitalist, you know.
Because he talk about his business.
He talk about money and your business.
I could live in Canada if I wanted to be rich. I have about 5 men to marry and turn down. You hear me?
Yes.
Serious. Not joking.
Okay.
So that's what I'm talking about. And the other thing, you won't find any young people. Right now, there's no one learning any trade, you know. None of these youth want to learn trade. All they want is money right now. That's why you have so much scammer. Kids are leaving school, 13-year-old, 14-year-old. I'm telling you, leave school and they're scamming.
Okay.
They're not learning anything.
Yeah,
just drop out of school. And that's it. It's all about money.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna leave you with one thing, my friend. Many times we are reminded that children live what they learn. And if we fail in teaching them how to handle certain things and respond to some of the urgencies of life, they are going to be misled. And so, anyway, is it time? Oh, I'm being given a signal. So wrap up for me, please, so we can.
Come on, Mama is on the break.
I know, right. No, you do that.
Like you call and letter. Yeah.
You get through at 9 o'clock. All right, brother.
We'll be right back.
Youths, are you stressed? Are you faced with trauma? Well, this is the program for you. Join Royton McLaren for Youth Resilience and Empowerment every Monday from 7:30 to 8 p.m. on Best 100.5 FM.
Hey,
easy. Let not your hearts be troubled. Just believe in God Almighty and daily renew the mind. As we live in this time when fake is more valued than real, lies prefer to truth, the unnatural put above the natural. This is Lady Donna, aka Double D Don, with a new song, Almighty Jah, encouraging your people to keep the faith. God will make a way. Get your copy today. It's on all digital platforms. Lady Donna Official on Instagram, Facebook, AsujaRecords.com. For bookings, Asuja Record label at Gmail. Almighty Jah!
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station. Moving.
My station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Bess FM, keep listening.
Half a tree. One already, 200. Ready, mama? Ready. Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
Just pay your dues, my friend. Take my medical news. Oh, doctor, come to meet my patient. Oh, doctor, come to meet my patient. Oh, doctor.
Veg Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Haggard Park Road. Veg Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back. We have 2 callers on the line. Let's go with the first one. Welcome, caller. Good morning.
Morning, Miss Minett. Morning, Pastor.
Morning.
I called you about some more ago. Where I was talking about the price of chicken feed and the baby chicks and those things.
Right, yes. You're calling us from.
And, and I was showing you an example with the fertilizer company and how the government stepped in and make it a little bit better for the farmers.
Right.
But after I hang up, I found that the people that look down there, the 2 political side them come out.
Yes,
and the whole argument and turn in a football game. Yeah, man, I'm going to defend that one, then I'm going to say this for the president.
Yes,
all I was trying to say is that after you elect a government, the government's responsibility is supposed to say life easy for people and create. And
flourishing, brother. Yeah, man. Yeah,
yes.
Right.
So,
that is still true.
This government, if him want, and can put things in place, that thing is harder than the farmer. Because that thing has been done already. But you see, life is like this, Marcus Garvey, years ago, did warn and tell him, say, a man will not live nowhere, and a man will have no food. Cannot be a Christian, A man will have no food to eat. He will not live nowhere. All of the preach Christianity
to him.
And
yes.
He can go and survive. He's not going to listen to you.
Yes.
Listen to you.
That is still true.
He have a different thought. So if you don't care what measure them put in place, and not care where squad them one bill and not task with them one bill, until them try to educate the people, them look up better, make life look easier for them, we now get rid of the crime we have. We don't like get rid of it, I see when you walk out right now, because give your praise and touch you, come on, you would see us. We don't fear that, we don't fear nothing, because they're all around it.
Well,
so how you see things?
Perfect love cast out all fear.
Yeah. So, one question, caller. You'd raise the issue to us. Have you seen any changes in anything in terms of feed and whatever? Any?
No, it was the same way.
Of course, yeah.
It was last month sometime about that.
Yes, and the price of chicken went up too. And the price of chicken went up too for consumers.
Then they just trying to show you.
Yes, so the government said something. The industry responded with a whole set of full-page ads and pushback, and then the industry went and raised the price. And the government has done nothing.
Them know the government weak.
Yes.
The government, them have the government in their pocket.
Them have it locked. Yeah. So the point you made was well made, and the points made by the others who were going over the history and so on did not disturb the foundation of your point. Your point's still relevant. We're still looking to see what would the industry leaders do here to make anything better for consumers and for participants in the market. And what would the government do to find a balance where everybody can have a shot at prospering? We're still waiting to see that activity. So,
and I hear a caller was talking about the man name again. Percy. What do you mean again, man? The man with the lock up there in the demonstration and thing.
Oh, Patterson, UIC.
Yeah, what the man say actually, you know?
Yes, we're not seeing.
Man. You tell me about him is when we see him on TV.
Yeah.
The last time the confrontation, I'm like him.
And
you're not, it's like for him like him, it's like the man.
Disappeared.
Get covered that, we don't know the man, you know, so nobody at work, but you go and think to say, well, let's give this man a chance.
Well, a lady called us one morning and said she was a candidate, but we're waiting to see. I mean, don't give up hope. Things have to build and so on.
We're not give up hope, but if somebody
come, they need to show up.
And you have no work up on the ground, it don't make sense.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to have some farmer representative.
Well, I don't doubt that you're in the country because I hear the chicken in the background. All right, my brother. Take care.
All right, cool.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
I hear Rusty take me to task, man. But I don't
Rusty
believe
say you're in brethren.
What I'm saying, you know.
No, Rusty understand. Rusty say I'm brethren, man.
Well, I mean, no, man. Let me just clarify something for Rusty. What I was trying to tell Rusty, you know, is that what is happening when we talk about, like, say, the bank thing there, everybody's feeling it, you know, because me feel it too, you know. But what I was trying to tell him that
time come for action.
Brought it to Parliament, and Fitz Jackson was looking some support. Maybe if we, even probably myself too, even if more of us did go down by the Parliament there and stand up with Fitz Jackson, probably the government would have to do something about it. But none of us did.
Yeah.
So it don't make no sense to come parade and we come talk about this and talk about that.
No,
and we're not doing anything at all.
The only point I fault you with as you're concluding it is to say that it don't make sense we talk about it. We need to talk about it, and we need to do, the two of you, the points that both of you are making need to be made. One, that it is still a problem. Two is that when we had a chance to do something, we didn't act, so we need to act now.
We didn't do, because you see, what is happening, you know? We have two institutions in this country. We have the Labour Party and the People's National Party, right? And some of us even worship some of the politicians in those two organizations.
Sure.
And we don't sit down and know and think about what we want those organizations to do for the country. Say, for instance, for argument's sake, I believe that in a community, no MP, no office of an MP should be painting no party color.
True.
From the moment the MP win the election, he becomes a member of Parliament for the year right now.
You should just paint it black.
His office should never be in any party color. Right?
I agree. That is a workable standard because he's the people's MP. It's not a JLP or, whatever.
Yeah, so sometimes we have to work with the institution that we have and demand that the institution them change.
Yes.
We can't have institution for 60 and 70 years. We don't try to make those institutions work. We're walking around and say, boy, we're going to look this and we're going to look that, and we're trying to. I'm not saying that we mustn't try and get other. But if you notice, other countries, so America have two political parties, major political parties. England have two major political parties. Germany, all of those countries have two political parties. But the people that make the party work for them. We're not making our parties work for us,
Not yet, but we're getting there. That is why this conversation is taking
place.
Right.
So we need to make the parties work for us and not the other way around.
Somebody here said the tail is wagging the head.
Right.
All right, my brother. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah. Yeah, man, it's all right, you know.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, man, we heard you,
know
man.
that is right.
Yeah, man, it's all right. You know, the moment you becomes a MP or a prime minister or whatever, you're supposed to represent all the people. That means you're supposed to have nothing paid up at that time. You understand?
In fact, really, you know what you need 3 offices. You need the party office for whichever, since we have 2, or each person should have their campaign office. Let's put it that
and
way.
Then you have the
then you have an MP office.
The member of parliament office.
Right.
Whoever is MP, that's where you go.
Move into it, and it should be the same place, the same office, and you just move out and move in as the seasons change. That's really how I would like to see it.
Yeah, but what I mainly want to say,
yes,
you know, I've been watching the news with Ukraine and Russia, right?
Yes.
In Europe, and you know, hello.
Yes, we're listening.
Seeing you.
And you know, definitely say that will push up oil price.
Yes,
it
is
pushed
happening.
up already, about 94 now.
Because what does that mean? That Putin now go back down because Putin have himself as a big power here. And you know, things like poor Messiah go on.
Yeah.
The West are use Ukraine as a push button, like, you understand?
Yes.
Because what really happening now, I know American out there, you know. I don't know Englishman out there.
No. The Ukrainians.
You understand?
Yes.
So them ungla send them Arsenal and them thing there, and I want to say I could have sell them too. You know, because I saw them sell for them
their technology and their weaponry. I'm pleased to say that the few persons who have mentioned this conflict on the show all seem to have understood it in proper context. None of us would want to see our, not our enemy, but let's say a competing, a rival superpower set up on our border. None of us would want that.
No, it's like a man come here nearby, you know,
yes.
come find a gun over your yard, you know.
Yeah.
And the gun can go off at any
time. Right. So I think I'm pleased that our listeners seem to understand that we don't just fall in line behind whatever it is that the US is promoting. We are applying our own mind. And we need to apply the same sensibility to how we assess our situation here, to understand that sometimes the aid that comes is not really aid. It is meant to coerce and to buy favor and to, so.
That's why if you notice, you know, Mr.
Yes.
Miss Lawrence.
Yes.
The Ukraine Prime Minister or the President, him still no want pressure nothing, you know, because he know the amount of people are there, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
And him in a miggle. You see, him in a miggle and him no want push the war because him know. And him know the man when him up against.
Yeah.
You understand? Because don't ramp, you know. Putin is not a man where you really play with, you know. You notice when the thing are going, when the thing are going Syria,
mm-hmm.
and as Putin take on the man them, everything clean up. Chechnya the same thing. So the man in a real play, you know. You understand?
But yes,
so
sir.
when the
Take
man
your point.
said, them no want a man at the backyard, them no want no.
They mean it. They mean it. And they have the military power to enforce it. All right, my brother, thank you for that perspective. Appreciate it. Yes. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yes, Miss Minett.
Yes.
Let me tell you. Yes. Marcus Garvey, you know, he said black man will never know themselves until they back turn against the wall. And right now, we is at the back after we turn, we back is there on the wall right now. Miss Minett, a cat mouth kill cat. You see the bank them?
Yes.
You can have millions of dollars in your yard. In your yard, not in the house, because you know if man come in, first thing they lift up your mattress.
Yes.
You have it in your yard, and it's only your husband or your children them that in case you sick or you take it, so you can't talk.
Yeah.
Or with them supposed to know exactly what in your yard is. Man come and walk pan you and they know them walk pan your money. Right? Because to walk go on with the in the bank, no. It don't make no sense to say you have to take money, go put in a bank, and when you hear from the show, when you think you have money there, you don't have
gone.
money.
It's gone. Yeah. That is true.
So, you can have in your yard.
You just need to know to secure it. You're absolutely right. I think
in your yard.
I think everybody who have ears heard you with that one. Thank you so much. That was well said. Well said.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yes, once again to you both. Isn't this a repeat of history? Didn't this take place in the 60s, the Ukraine thing I talk about? In the 60s, it was right here in Cuba.
Yes.
When Russia was in Cuba.
Yes, sir.
And America said, no,
not
get
in my
away
backyard
from Cuba.
Yes.
Or else it's World War III.
Three, absolutely. It's
and Putin is saying that for Ukraine.
And now NATO, which is the European powers, with the blessing of America, is in Ukraine, which is Russia's doorstep. A front door, veranda.
Yes,
same
principle.
And it's the
same thing.
Scenario.
Thing. Yeah. But I'm pleased by the maturity of the views that are expressed on it.
No, but it's the same thing, but I think of it in a bigger context in terms of just tracking what is happening worldwide and what will happen in terms of how it has been set up to happen, because Putin has, as now says, I'm a world power too, so I'm a flexing muscle. It's a part of the whole process, my brother. It's part of what is happening.
He's flexing his muscles, you say?
Yeah, man, I'm a flexing muscle.
I don't even, okay. I know, you and I are reading it the same way.
When you look at the map, the reality is nobody would want a foreign power at them veranda.
Not at all. I don't even want my neighbor too close to my front door, and we're not competing. So it's we understand it. Thank you for that.
All right.
Yes. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning to you both.
Morning, sir.
I just want to use this opportunity to say to the Prime Minister and the Governor General to be careful how you say things and say. I'm sure that the majority of the people here don't really have no interest in having them here. So they must remember that they are in power with a small majority. The majority of the Jamaican people who have a vote did not vote, because people are just fed up
63%
with everything that they are doing.
Yes.
And this puppet thing. We have to take up. I salute the lady from Barbados and the people of Barbados who has taken the bold step to finally throw off the yoke of slavery and colonialism.
I think Jamaica is certainly on its way to doing the same, and perhaps this visit is a farewell visit.
But we don't know, Anthony.
We don't want no farewell visit.
Farewell visit from them.
Yeah.
We know them coming for soft, no? For sauce up, and we know the type of leadership that is in Jamaica House. But no, majority of us have no interest in that visit, and as soon as I can find out what is going to take place, I will be out on the street to greet them in a way that they will not.
You will exercise your democratic voice and speak from the heart. I hear you, my brother, and perhaps others will join you, because you're not alone in that feeling.
With whatever I need to hold up in my hand to show them, say, we don't want them here.
They're not welcome. All right, so that is you see, that is the right that we fight for, to preserve, and we don't want anyone to interfere with that right. The freedom to speak.
Remember how they call up a few people from CARICOM to come up there when there was the issue with Venezuela?
To go where? To Washington, or to? Was it to go
by calling a few.
To go to Washington.
Yeah,
to go to, yes.
Carry them through back door in a one country house And the sad part of it, they were so naive that when they finish there, they gave them the utensil that they use, said, tell them is a gift.
Oh,
and
dear.
They didn't even realize that I eat them now. I eat
Then nobody know why you sit after them. All right, Mary, I didn't know of that one. I didn't know of that story.
So we get gifts.
Oh, boy.
They are pathetic. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Up with me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I want to address an issue that is. Do we have another call? Oh, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Shalom. Shalom.
Good morning.
Shalom and good morning to you, Miss Minett.
Morning,
shalom,
morning,
and you
Samuel.
and yours. And shalom and good morning to you, Pastor Percy. And yours.
Thank you, sir. How are you today?
Yes. I was trying to find a scripture in regards to money. Because it says money answereth all things. Somewhere
yes.
in the
Proverbs, right?
Pastor.
It is in the Proverbs. There is one, money answereth all things, but it says the love of money is the root of all evil.
Yes, the love of it. And it goes on to say, you don't mind me reading?
Go ahead.
No, man, go ahead. I want to get into a little depth in regards to that spiritual lady named the Speaker of the House, Dalvinto.
Yeah. All right, read quickly, my brother.
Also, and to compare it with the justice that is meted out to one Nzinga King.
Yes. Go make your point.
And we also noticed that there's two top lawyers, and not just basic civil case. It's a domestic case. All right. For the love of money, and this is found in Timothy 6 and verse. 1 Timothy 6 verse 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, goes wrong from the faith, and pierce themselves through with many sorrows. Verse 11. But thou, O man of God, and this is speaking to us now, you Jamaican that came on the slave ship, you so-called Africans that are not Africans, O man of God, flee these things and follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, meekness, and those are some of the fruit of the Spirit. All right. Now, I must address the issue as briefly as possible about this gas tax. Mr. Percy, a edge is an insurance. It's not a deterrent. So it's an insurance that the government installed to help to defray the expenses that it would cost the common people.
True.
It's not a deterrent. We can't influence the price of gas.
Yeah.
We are not part of the OPEC, and we can't influence the price of gas.
We know what the hedge is. We know what the hedge is. Carry on. We know what the hedge is.
And what we need to think about now is this ad valorem tax. You know what tax is that? The government can do something about that to reduce the impact on the people.
That's correct.
The ad valorem tax.
Yes, that we can control, or that our government can control.
Yes. If they love us.
That and GCT.
They say they love the poor, you know. But Sister Minett, anything you love, don't you want more?
Love of money.
I won't go any further on that subject. All right, let me point this out in regards to the injustice.
Yes, with Miss Dalrymple.
That was meted out to Miss
Dalrymple.
No, not Miss Dalrymple. It was meted out publicly and otherwise in government circle to one Miss, because we are poor. Well, you consider us to be poor. Mrs. Nzinga King. The young Miss Nzinga King. Young Miss Nzinga King, not Mrs. Okay?
Yes.
All right. In the case of Miss Dalrymple, I always think it's a fairy tale name. It's a beautiful name anyway. I'm not making fun of her. If we listen to what the reporter said last night on the news, he said it actually goes to a trial. There was a plea. All three personnel that was involved in that dumping, that's the person in our car.
Yeah, they were charged. They entered a plea, and a trial ensued. Yes.
There you go. And then no case submission apparently was entered by our lawyers.
Yes.
And all 3 persons, there was no case.
Yes.
There was no case, and it was upheld.
Yes.
Now, we need to consider this now. This is what crossed through my mind. Why, when this, it was from last year the incident occurred. Why, when this incident occurs, the DPP didn't make a ruling. It didn't permit on what basis would the DPP get involved, such as in Miss Nzinga case?
You mean like with Miss Dalrymple?
Yes.
Because Miss Dalrymple was charged. In Miss King's case, no one was charged, and the DPP was asked to determine whether it was fit for a charge to be laid.
Okay.
In Miss Dalrymple's case, she was charged.
It's very interesting. I think I'm going to give my personal opinion that I think a deal was made with that police officer.
In Miss Dalrymple's case?
I think, yes. Because
a deal made where? A deal made where?
Yes, right in the courtroom there.
No, you wouldn't make a deal.
No, not in the case of the court, but maybe one side in the courtyard or something.
No, but I wouldn't permit it. I won't permit it to speculate in that way, because the time to make a deal with the police would have been at the dump site. Once the police made a charge and it is gone to trial.
Right. You're right.
Yeah, there would be no deal to be made.
Anything is possible in Jamaica.
All right. On that note,
I don't put anything past Jamaica.
All right, my brother.
Thanks.
I hear you.
I just want to make this finally.
Yes, please, because I have another caller waiting.
Is that a plea was made?
Yes.
And a no case submission was admitted.
Yes.
And we see 2 top-notch lawyers. We don't see it in the case of Miss Nzinga. And
you see now, one of the fundamental right that people have is to a lawyer of their own choice. Now, if you have money and you can hire a top-notch lawyer, all good for you. The top-notch lawyers could have volunteered and gone to Miss King, but apparently they didn't. That is not the system's fault. That is because, Money. All right, my brother, let me take another call, and you know that you can call us again. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Hello, good morning and welcome to everybody.
Good morning, Neville. Good morning.
Yeah, I left the contact and a business card up there for you.
Oh, well, thank you for reminding me, because I haven't got it.
Yeah, so I left it with the gentleman in the other section of the building, a brown man.
Okay, yes, that would be in the office.
Yeah, and the curator is looking forward to your call.
All right, sir. Thank you very much.
And we want to, yes. And I just want to tell you that if you visit the place,
yes,
and you see any other format of any merchandise that you would like,
yes,
we'll produce a replica for you. And we do have we can't reproduce anymore after that. If you see any other on the market, you can sort.
All right, then.
All right, my brother.
Because
thank you.
We want this product to grow.
Yes, sir.
No, listen to me, people. Listen to me, moderators. Pastor, you first. In the book of Proverbs.
Yes.
Solomon in his glory said that a favor is worth more than silver and gold.
True.
Why did he say that?
Because when the favor that somebody gives to you, you can't put a value on it. Versus somebody. Yeah, that's what it is.
And it's a currency.
Yes.
Now, in Jamaica and in the Western world, they practice what is known as pristine capitalism. And that pristine capitalism have their code of principle and code of ethics, just like the Christian Bible. You hear me tell you?
I'm listening.
And one of their code of ethics is compete or die. So who can compete with them must die. They love money more than people.
True.
And they'll trick you out of your money. They'll trick you. Because in one of their policies that lie is in the ears and the eyes of the beholder. It's not them telling you lie. They tell you what they need to tell you. And they tell you what you want to hear. And if it turns out that it don't work out when they take power, It's not them tell you lie. It's you buy into what they tell you. You know that, boy?
You buy the olo, you take the olo.
Yeah, but the Bible says a lie is an abomination. A lying lips is an abomination to God Almighty. These capitalists, they don't think that way. They deal with money. And I think it is my responsibility to make some suggestion on this show if we want to go forward.
All right, my brother. Yes, make them before we take the break.
Miss Minett, you need to set up as a lawyer. You need to go into the register of company on behalf of this project that you have here, this program.
Yes.
And set up what is known as a trust fund.
We talk about that this morning. There, listen.
Yeah, listen me now. This program here, Bess FM.
Yes.
By my studies, have about 40,000 listenership from Negril Point to Moran Point when I do my little mathematics. And I went into Manic, and people in Manic know my vibe. Manic, St. Anne, because of this program. You see, out of the 40,000 people that have listened to the show, listen to the radio.
Yes.
We need 10,000 of them, 10,000 out of 40,000, that is a quarter, to buy into this trust fund. And people like me, I spent $30,000 last year buying phone credit to call and do my business. I buy package deal from Flow. 30,000 let's spend when we're looking at my ledger. And I am willing to cut my phone bill by 5,000 and make that 5,000 donation to the church fund. And you see the 10,000, if they chose $1,000 each for the year, we would have $10 million. And you see that $10 million, we're going to target the most vulnerable people who listen to this program, like the blind man and the cripple man. Yeah. And we're going to help them. And secondly, suggestion before the break, and I come off our radio. People who have skill set in this program and this radio station, like you and Pastor and the great Jerry Small, etc.
Yes.
We are going to find a way to do favor for one another, so that we can stretch our currency. Because me never, we can tutor 12 subjects successfully here, Pastor Minett.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, me I tell you that. We good like that. Tested and proven. I call one person who know me can deny when I step on the radio. Me never.
Okay.
So me can take all a guy from Negril. Me not have to know him. Me not have to go on Negril.
Yeah.
And him call me on my phone anytime I'm ready for clarification in mathematics, accounting, and me can solve it for him and Negril on the phone, and me never have to know him. And me just do that on behalf of the trust fund.
Yes, sir.
And because me want Jamaica to be a better place. All them things that we have to set up, you know.
Yes,
1660, man.
Wow.
And these businesses, when you put them through the register of companies, they are what you call non-profit organization, because we don't want a profit from it, you know.
Yep.
But then we're not supposed to dead free hungry, you know.
All right, Neville.
Because you see a Raspal, them man they say, I hear the project and I participate and the whole way I link up and I see how we can solve things, you know, without this money thing with them set up around here, you know. Because you're leaving with this, you know.
Yes,
true.
sir.
That's true.
There is no member of parliament who have one job in Jamaica, and some of them all have 6 jobs. And for them road work that we see are done and housing we are built.
Yeah.
Them are shadow directors and shadow investors in them. We are rape the Jamaican people from Negril Point to Moran Point, you know.
Okay.
And because them love money more than people, you know. And you see the digital revolution what them have come with. Now one of the people that make them thief on the money in the bank, you know. Because they'll be, the IMF tell them say there'll be no more fintech, you know.
And you know we've been talking about
so Pastor, you know they all know if Jamaica is run right. People should have still go to prison for fintech.
That's true.
Yeah.
And listen this now, the IMF tell them, say, we're not coming back round here to fix up your nastiness how you deal with money around here. You know? The IMF tell them that in the boardroom of Jamaica House.
And we should be on our own. We should be fixing these things.
Yes, because we have the resources
we
here.
Have the resources
45% of the gas money when you go to the pump with $100. Every $100 when you spend, $45 go towards the government and the budget under some thieving scheme. You know?
Never.
You know that?
Never.
Yes, sir.
As we've come to the break. You know what I...
To be continued.
That's what we're saying. I know.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, let's take the break. We can pick up when we get back.
Mr. Producer.
All right,
We'll be right back.
Looking to clean your vehicle super clean? 123 Clean Car Wash, located at 2 1/4 Osborne Road, Kingston 10. Entrance on Grove Road, below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum, undercarriage wash, engine wash, polish and compound, shampoo and detailing. Call them at 876-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash, the best in the business for a cleaner wash.
1, 2, 3, believe me, it's so easy. 1, 2, 3.
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station.
Moving.
This is my station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Bess FM. Keep listening.
There will be days when you're too tired to move, to drive, but you think you have to because your vehicle won't wash itself, right? But no, you don't have to visit a car wash. 123 Mobile Car Wash will come straight to you. Yes, you heard right. 123 Mobile Car Wash is offering services in Kingston and St. Andrew and St. Catherine. We shampoo and detail cars, trucks, offices and more. No job too small. Call us at 876-631-3400. 123 Mobile Car Wash. We come to you.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning. Welcome back to the caller on hold. Please go ahead. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Man, love and bless.
Hey, we're good, my brother.
Yes, what's up?
The so-called Jews and so-called PNP and so-called GLP, they are not good to consume, you know.
You have to start over for us.
The African, yeah.
The Jews and the PNP, and they are not good to what?
To consume.
You mean we shouldn't listen to them?
They're not good, Empress.
All right, tell me what you said now. What was said this morning that you're responding to?
No, me not listen to what them say especially, you know.
Oh, okay.
You're just talking generally.
Yes, people come and call African so-called, you know.
Okay, all right.
Oh,
and they are
I see.
so-called too.
Yeah, but we don't let that disturb our spirit, man.
Yes, my brethren.
Yeah, we don't let that disturb our spirit.
I mean, notice the youth when they get beat, not the jail, not the prison.
Oh, no, that.
Yeah.
The youth get beat, not the prison.
Yes.
The youth get beat, not the prison. I truly might entertain and make a hear about it, you know.
I said the same thing to Pastor. I said if that was not a famous man, we would not hear about it. This has got to be something that they do all the time.
You know how much youth them mash up in there. I ain't hear about it, Empress.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yep.
This cruel system we have down here. Eh? Gigi takes it. The queen sick and in takes it too.
Be kind, be kind. Be kind, my brother. Be kind, be kind.
Reverend.
We are kind. We are kind people.
King, eh?
We are kind people.
We're kind?
Yes, man.
Pastor is saying be compassionate towards the Governor General. He's a Jamaican man who has taken ill. But I mean, it is still funny that him and the Queen.
I don't compassionate enough. I just saying, say the Queen take sick. I wonder if I hear him here, so the Queen sick and take long too.
I doubt it, but it is funny the way you've said it.
You see me, I say,
I do see what you're saying.
Me did on a piece of land next to a King's house, you know, which part in there, you know.
Yes, you speak with feeling.
I do farming, you know.
Yes.
And him come over there and him take out the land and him fence it round, you know. And now the land they don't grow bush, you know. And the people and carrying enough farming up there, you know.
Yep. But guess what? I get what you're saying. But hear me now, African. You show yourself to be a better man than him because he may not have even considered you when they fence up the land. But here it is, you are aware that he is sick. Say a prayer for him. Move into your next level because you can have more land and a better prospect because he fenced up that little piece that you were on.
And a bigger opportunity has opened up.
Bigger opportunity. Step into it and know that it has only been possible because a man never consider you when him a fence up the land.
All right, Miss Minett, I'm going to say a prayer for him.
Say a prayer for him.
Next thing, Miss Minett.
Yes.
You saw them deal with Ethiopia.
Bring me up to date.
Huh?
Go ahead and tell me.
When the war broke out in Ethiopia, you saw them urge it. You saw the American president them urge it on. Miss Minett?
I did not notice that specifically, I'll tell you the truth. But it would not surprise me because America tends to want to see instability in parts of the world where it wants to take control of the resources. Instability is an opportunity for some nations.
Donald Trump tell the people that fight the government to bomb the dam. Bomb the dam, and that's him telling for doing now.
You expected better from Donald Trump?
Yeah, I see Mr. Biden now. Mr. Biden now a Roman Catholic man, you know. Him and Putin cannot be friends, you know.
True.
You didn't know that?
Well, not because of their religion, but I understand that there is no natural friendship that's going to come between two rival powers, regardless of their religion.
Them have a meeting day before yesterday, you know. And after the meeting, the war escalate.
Oh, you mean Putin and Biden? You thought, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then go behind door, go have meeting, run a corner. And we don't know what the meeting is about. But the next time, the news, I war plane here and war tanker a float across the place. Missile a bust on fire. You never see it, Miss Minett?
Yes, I saw it, but you see how I look at it. I have an understanding of it. I don't expect Putin to back down because Biden says so, and I don't expect Russia to accept that kind of activity on their border.
Just when
I fully expected that if things escalated in a certain way in Ukraine, that Russia would do what it needs to do. I'm not one of the persons who believe that when America speak, you need to agree. I mean, personally, everybody would know that about me already. I'm not in any way overwhelmed by America's power or the rightness of her voice.
And I'm saying, I would say to you, it is the same in terms of all of these superpowers who only think about themselves, not thinking about the smaller nation. So that's your general principle. Yeah.
One thing Samuel, who called, was saying is that we have to recognize that there are some things which have an impact on, like on the price of oil in Jamaica. It has an impact on us. We can't control what those external powers are doing, but we can control what we do here. So to the extent that we impose taxes on products and so on, that the price already gone up, the Jamaican government need to step up and do the right thing for the people. But
that's what you were saying.
My brother, I mean, you're right on all the points that you have made, and I love the fact that you are bringing our attention to an assessment of how these external attitudes, voices, impacts, what they say about the people who we'd like to hug up, and how we can take sleep and mark death.
He's gone. He went.
He went?
Yeah, man.
Okay, good. There are a few things that I need to address because it's been heating up on our chat, and I like to include our online community as we are going through. And even as I was working out my strategy, one very impatient online listener said, Minett, you're ignoring us. And I apologize for that. But to keep the two things going, sometimes it is an effort when the calls are coming in so fast. Let me pick up from the first thing that was challenged. One person thought that we had misled the caller to whom we told that you can, any person can have access to documents in the public registries of births, deaths, marriages, and so on. And I don't know what their experience is, but let me go from the law. The act that deals with obtaining certified copies of these documents, which is the I think it's the registration of births and deaths. It says any person, section 55(1), in the event you have had a problem at the registry when you try to get certified copies of documents that are not your own, any person, upon making application in the prescribed form and upon payment of the appointed fee, shall be entitled to obtain from the Registrar General a certified copy of any entry in the registers of births and deaths or in the civil status registers kept by the Registrar General, and it limits the information that should be on it. It has to be in a particular form. So if you try to get a birth certificate for your niece or your nephew or your friend or your grandfather who died long time ago, and you are told that you can only get your own document, it is not so. The law, it is a public register, and it is accessible to any person who applies and pays the fee. So let me see who said we misled the person, so I can be specific about that. I like when these things come up because Tumblebug Perry said, "Uno mislead Malvern. You still have to give a power of attorney to anyone other than you to apply for your documents." It is not true. Any person can apply for the documents. What you can't do is apply for a document and then try to send anybody else to go get it. The person who is to collect it must have authorization from the person who applied. Precisely. So, yeah, that's just correcting that because I like when people have the right information. There's been a question about, can you have a vote of confidence in Parliament? Well, the question from the caller was, could the citizens move a vote of no confidence against the government? The citizens can't, but within Parliament, there are things that the MPs can do, because the leader of government must enjoy the confidence and the support of the majority in order to be Prime Minister. And so that can be done in Parliament. Things you need to know as you are planning how you want to address certain things. So that's to answer Ricky B and some other persons who had that question. Conrad, I actually have the book Born for Dead. I've read it and I love it. So I'd like it when you make recommendation on things that we can do. I'm just going through as quickly as I can to catch the issues. There's a lot of chatter about, the Ukraine versus the West versus Europe and so on. And I think everybody's on point with it. Let me just move quickly. Okay. All right. Just going through. Yeah, Tumblebug Perry said, Minett, you are ignoring our live chat. I did not mean to, just so you know. Neville's suggestion was definitely, Ricky B, you want to get in touch with Neville. I think we have a number for Neville here. I would want to get his permission, of course. But I think all the callers know that whatever we do going forward, Neville is a resource, and you're gonna see him supporting. And I really do thank him for the suggestion he made. It is really vibing with what we were thinking here, that we want to do some more things than talk about making change. We want to be a part of the change. All right. Conrad says Sudan was split and America was with the split. Now Ukraine factions want to split and America is saying no. See, when it comes to us, the narrative is different.
The narrative that he's saying is different between.
Yes, but America's no to Ukraine is because Ukraine wanting to split is to give is to restore a strong relationship with Russia and to pull away from the relationship they were seeking to build with NATO.
But what is happening is that you have different sections. When you look on Ukraine, because now Putin has said he's going to recognize the two separate
independent states. Yes.
And if I was Putin, I'm not going to make it come in my backyard.
No, that is
what it
beyond
is.
even contemplation.
And
but
that's what he said.
You know what? I want us in Jamaica, I want us to exercise the right to determine what happens in our country. That is, and I think Ukraine needs to do that. Form your own allies. Do what you want to do. Don't be under the pressure of, you do need to have powerful friends, but choose them.
You have a power to choose.
You must have the power to choose.
But I'm saying to people, even as they are choosing and doing what they're doing, because we've said that on this program, everybody out to move their agenda forward. The Chinese, the Russians, the Americans, everybody. So in choosing these people, you must do things that benefit you. It can't be only one-sided.
Yeah.
It must be mutually beneficial so that everybody, it's a win-win situation.
And you know what? You better learn to live good with your neighbor because that's who you're going to go to. That's the closest person to you when trouble strikes. So they need to get along with them, one another in Europe. We're in the last 10 minutes of the show. Unbelievably so. I want to just give my thank yous, as I always do, to those who called, those who put their notes on the chat, and all the support we're getting. Clearly, there are some bigger things that are ahead of us. Yes. And I look forward to the support that seems to be well promised. This has been a morning when a few callers have really made us feel like what we're doing matters and is having an impact. And I appreciate that greatly. Many times you're sort of just casting your pebbles into the water. You see the ripples, but you have no idea that it is actually making an impact. So thank you, crew in the house, Mr. Producer. I know you and the engineer are a big part of the team. Nobody hears your voices usually, but I think they understand now that it is a team of 4 people pulling together to create an impact on what's happening nationally. Pastor Percival, over to you. Thank you, of course. Every morning I thank you when I have the opportunity to.
No, I'm just saying, as we close.
Yes.
Look at the front page.
Shatter violence. Pray for Tommy Lee. You like, which one you like?
It's just a sense of what is happening in the nation.
The snapshot.
Yeah.
Well, the world, because
the world at war.
There is the Ukraine on our front page as well.
Yeah. And the point that gentleman made about 3 points in terms of, listen to what the people are saying. Listen to what the people are saying. Listen to what the people are saying.
That's the music that you're playing?
No, listen to what the people are saying. What our leaders are saying. Listen carefully.
Okay.
They're sending a message.
All right. We just got a message from the producer that if we want music, we need to let go of the mic. So we are letting go of the mic. Walk good, everybody. Have a great day.